And we are live.
Hello.
Welcome to the Pre-Hangout iFanboy Tiki Hour, hosted by me, Connor Kilpatrick, and him, Gordon the intern.
And Jen.
Special guest, Mike Romo.
Hi, guys. So we're
waiting for another guest. He hasn't shown up yet.
So are we bonus material?
We're bonus. We're in the Blu-ray.
Oh, cool. Great.
And
the director's cut.
I was just saying, I have so much stuff on Blu-ray, and then I see it on a streaming service, and then I'm like, I think about putting the let's Scott Pilgrim say.
Yeah.
I'm like, it takes 10 minutes to boot the Blu-ray. Why don't I just watch the screen? But then I'm totally sacrificing sound and picture quality.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to prove that point, we watched Lord of the Rings a couple weeks ago, when this all started.
The extended one?
Is there a different one?
I still haven't
seen it. The third chapter, it's better to watch the regular theatrical version.
Well, we watched extended, but I had my Blu-ray player apparently broke, so I bought a new one to watch it.
Like $10?
Man, this picture looks so good. I was like, well, it's Blu-ray. We're not streaming.
Yeah. Welcome to the uncompressed. Well, a little bit compressed.
But still, it makes a difference.
Well, try watching Blade Runner 2049 on 4K.
Oh, really?
Bonker.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, how come we can't find Star Wars on Blu-ray anywhere? The new one.
It's not released, is it? Did they just put it out on streaming for this?
Got it.
You can get it on 4K, but you can't get it on just regular Blu-ray.
I thought it wasn't coming out on Blu-ray till May.
I haven't gotten it yet.
That'd be why. All right. So hello, everyone. We have people here. We got a chat room going.
Hi, guys.
This is our Tiki chat, and let's talk about what we are drinking. We'll start with Mike. What are you making over there?
So look, here's the deal. If you're a fan of Tiki, you should basically have 4 lime trees in your apartment. And I don't have that, and I can't. We're not supposed to go outside to stores, so I don't have any limes, and I don't have club soda. So the only things that I can really make are a Saturn, because I saw Connor's post, and that doesn't require a lime or club soda. And I have a mix where I'm going to make it's a mix. It's going to be great. Gordon will tell you, and then I'll tell you, because I'm going to grab it so people can see the bottle.
Fun fact, when Josh lived in Van Nuys after college, he had a giant lemon tree in his backyard.
Oh, well, yeah.
He was never without lemons.
Wow.
Gordon, what are you making or drinking?
Tonight I made a Mai Tai because I still had some homemade orgeat from a couple weeks ago, and so I thought if that's there, I should use it. And unlike Mike, I did have limes.
Yeah, right in the salty wound.
I think I have 16 limes.
You just throw them around just for fun. You juggle them. You're like, hey, this one's not perfect. This is what I'm going to drink.
Anyway,
this is the Jet Pilot.
Jet Pilot, that's a good drink.
Which is great. I just finished the Rocketeer Collector's Edition, that trade that came out many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I had opened it up like so many of the big books that I get. And I never read it. I saw the one page and he draws women really well.
Gordon is a big Rocketeer fan.
I have a big Rocketeer tattoo from that book right here.
I can't do. I mean, we didn't see anything.
Gordon, under my shirt, you weirdo.
Holy crap! Wow. I've never seen that one.
Gordon, tell me about your fez.
So I'm loosely affiliated with the Tiki Bar here in the Midwest region, and we had custom fezzes made for our 1-year anniversary. So I've got a custom fez for the Inferno room.
Did they measure your head?
I had already measured my head, and I sent it to the guy.
Show the people your Tiki mug.
Tonight we have Chewbacca.
That's nice. Is that from Disney?
No, this was from Geek Tikis. I got it for Father's Day 1 year. I got a whole set though.
So I'm having a Saturn, as Mike mentioned, as you may have seen on social media, because I had way too many Mai Tais last weekend, so I wanted to mix it up. So I have Saturn, and I'm drinking out of this mug from a bar called Lono, which is a tiki bar in Hollywood. And you may notice that it is a play on the Oscar. You can see him holding the sword. And this is the closest I'll ever come to holding an Oscar. This is the bar, Lono. If you're ever in LA and like tiki, it's a great place to go. I like to thank the Academy and Mike and Gordon.
Yeah,
it's right in Hollywood, right?
Right in Hollywood. Right in Hollywood Boulevard.
Right next to Musso and Frank, which is another great Hollywood place to go. If you're ever in LA and you don't go there, you
blew it.
You wasted the whole trip. That's it. You need to come back.
People are talking in the chat room about my beard.
Yeah, it's sexy.
I'm not. I've decided I'm not trimming it until.
There are the live comments.
Yeah, you have to look at live comments.
Oh, yeah, click on the comments button. You'll be able to see the comments.
Hi, comment people. Sorry,
And so you'll be able to. You can see I've grown it out now. I pledged to not trim it. I may not stick with that because it is annoying. My beard is curly and it starts curling into my nose, and
you got to trim at least the.
I trim the rogue ones and I trim around here because try going outside and not touching your face when your beard is up your nose.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
I have a rogue hair that grows out of my old ear piercing hair. It's a single hole. It comes out of the hole and it goes out.
Old man talk on iFanboy.
No one wants to know that.
I'm trying to.
I nearly just broke the coaster that I got for my brother's wedding. I'm not going to use that anymore.
So I'm going to show some of my paraphernalia.
Yeah, you need to finish talking about the drink you're making.
Yeah, so I got the Saturn, and it's in a cup, slightly not safe for work, from Tiki Room in Las Vegas. If you're ever in Las Vegas, off the strip is a fantastic tiki bar. It's not an old tiki bar, which surprised me. It's right next to a gas station, and
Frankie's.
It's serious, yeah. Frankie's.
We've been there. You and I have been there
many times.
Several times, yeah.
Yeah, and then I've got a coaster from the world famous Trader Vic's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
And that is worth going to if you're in that area. You should go. Hi, Ryan.
Hey,
you're here.
You're a wrestling outfit.
What?
That yellow reminds me of sort of a wrestling.
It's a great shirt.
It's one of my last remaining Aloha shirts.
I almost wore my white one, which I like a lot, but I'm trying to conserve laundry. And I already wore this one earlier, so I decided not to get two shirts dirty.
Your beard has gotten.
It's the beard podcast. That's all people are talking about.
It's quarantine beard.
Are you conserving laundry because you're going somewhere?
Yeah.
I just don't want to have a ton of it. Well, I can't do it. I live in an apartment. I mean, I have laundry. I don't have dry cleaning.
Right.
And I dry clean these shirts because they're nice.
Gotcha.
So dry cleaning is considered an essential business, but I still don't want to go dry cleaning because that seems like
funny.
Terrible.
That's funny that it's an essential business. That's interesting.
Well, so
that's where we live in.
So is pot stores.
Hey.
They are essential.
Essential oils.
Ryan, are you drinking anything? We went through our drink lineup.
I'm having a weird riff on a Mai Tai made using some store-bought syrups instead of fresh fruit. So
I like the idea of the quarantine.
Yeah.
Like the MacGyvering of cocktails with whatever you've got handy.
Well,
it's not bad. It's rum.
Like you were in space.
It's rum, lime juice, orgeat, and triple sec.
So Gordon has a Mai Tai, and Mike and I are Saturns because he has no limes, and I drank too many Mai Tais last weekend.
Remind me what's in a Saturn?
Saturn is quarter-ounce passion fruit syrup, which I have some.
Send me that, please.
Library and Company, and it's orgeat gin, which I'm using Death's Door. That's
the best gin.
Quarter-ounce falernum, velvet falernum, and a little bit of lemon juice.
So you had lemons but no limes.
Our friend Mimi has a lemon tree, and anybody that has a lemon tree, whenever they see you, they're just like, "Please take these away from me."
Right.
And you have way too many lemons. We had a whole stack, and we never even touched them.
Well, that's it. Saturns for days.
Can we rewind here for a second? Yeah. So this somebody just wrote MacGyvering, love it. Mm-hmm. MacGyvering of cocktails. I'd like to say that last week Connor and I were doing a little cocktail class.
Yeah.
And Connor did not have mint, so he crushed up Altoids.
Yeah.
Ooh. No.
It was terrible. We Gordon does a Monday cocktail class for his friends, and I join in just for the fun of it. And we were doing mojitos. And
Wow.
I had no mint because why would I have mint in the house?
Yeah.
And but I had everything else. So mostly for the entertainment value, I muddled a Altoid in my shaker, and then did the rest of it. And while refreshing, I cannot recommend it. It was terrible.
Muddling your Altoid sounds like a metaphor for something.
Yeah, it looked like I was breaking up like an opioid.
or groupie or something like.
I
It's
like
just like-
Radio Man of YT said that Ryan and we have the wrong faces for our voices and probably bodies.
Oh, you're in great shape,
I mean, yeah, I think.
Ryan. I think we're all in awe and jealousy of your eyelashes, which really make your eyes pop.
That's okay.
You guys look great.
Hi, Whitney.
Is Ryan frozen? Did he leave?
Looks like he's frozen.
I just won twice, so according to
I think he's frozen. I'm gonna kick him out and see if he comes
I
back.
just thought, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna add a little banner here. I forgot I made one for the show.
I have a two
Hi,
other
Brian.
hat options over here, but I felt like I'm sticking with the Fez because
The other day I told a joke, and it was I just made a dumb joke, and everybody froze, and I thought I had just bombed so hard that no one was even moving and not saying anything. It was
Zoom live.
and I realized it was, and they just were like,
what was the joke?
Yeah, tell us. We'll
you
laugh.
know how they come. It's pitter patter. It's
Right.
I'm a goldfish. I don't know what's happening. I don't know I don't even know what I just said. Fez win. So are people in the chat room? Are they?
Yeah.
There?
Can you see the chats? There you go.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if anybody is drinking anything. I'm just,
Yeah, tell us in the chat room what you're drinking and where you are
Even
located.
got Hendrick's gin, classy.
Classy. I just kicked my Henry.
That's nobody's business but the Turks, Robert.
So the gin that Mike has, the Death Store, is our favorite gin, but the distillery went bankrupt, so we've been hoarding it. I think I've got 3 bottles currently in the apartment.
So I've been drinking a lot of the aviation gin.
Aviation
really
gin
like.
is good. Aviation gin is good.
I found out that Ryan Reynolds is
He owns it.
the owner. Yeah.
What?
Ryan Reynolds owns Aviation Gin, and he owns a telecom company in Canada. He's very smart with his movie money.
He's like Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, he's smart. You got to invest that shit. And
Beer Dunkel. Oh, we got a lot of good beers here. Drake's IPA, Lagunitas, love that. Alex is drinking a Mai Tai. Orange soda float.
is Pink in here? He was getting. I think he was gonna make a Saturn. You're talking about that in our Discord. If you're a patron, and you haven't joined our Discord channel, you got to join that because that's where all the action is.
Tell me more about this. I'm on it, and I get so scared about it.
Alex Howard is making Orgeat, and Pink I think is making a Saturn. Mike, you know you and I were on Discord in our old job, and that wasn't that scary.
And Slack, so it's hard to look at this.
There's Brian. Oh, Brian
Brian
Wilder.
is killing it. Brian
He's
Crucian Squash.
he's a big tiki guy. Brian's a big tiki guy.
Well, International Gin and Tonic Day was earlier this week. So
Kyle,
Says you.
I did not know. McCollins. We've been Connor and I have been, acquiescing to our significant others and are watching Outlander, and so your Macallan Scotch Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He likes it.
No commentary from the.
That's all right. I own it. Oh, did you see that? Coffee Machine is saying that aviation is donating 30% of their profits.
Yeah, no, I saw him on Colbert talking about that. He seems like a good dude. It's hard to say.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Good. This is a good question. What do you guys other good gin brands?
Yeah, because we need one for one when I run out my Death Store. Tonight I'm going to kick this bottle of Death Store for sure.
All right, this is a great question, and I'm glad I was able to log back in for it.
Oh.
How do you guys feel about Hendrick's?
We talked about it earlier. It's a good gin, it's a solid gin.
my favorite. It's fine.
I like that it's cucumbery.
I know, but I feel like that's what doesn't. I feel like for me that's not. I feel like it's a cucumber gin, not an actual gin.
Yeah, that's. I prefer floral to a cucumber.
The local gin I used to get in Nashville was called Corsair, and they use the same infusion process that Hendrick's uses, which I think is a little bit produces a milder, less harsh flavor than Just like because a lot of gin places they just soak the botanicals in the gin directly, whereas Hendrix and this place Corsair, they use a system where there's like a basket of botanicals that are introduced while the liquor is still in its vapor mode. So it infuses in the vapor before it condenses back down into a liquid.
Somebody just said Botanist, which I also like.
Botanist is really good. A buddy of mine up in Vermont for New England folks runs a company called Stonecutter, and they make a barrel-aged gin that's very good.
Yum.
Well, what kind of gin is that?
They're doing just a kind of classic London dry gin, but they're aging it for a little bit in whiskey.
I
barrels.
love a London dry. I just don't want that in my tiki gin.
Right.
I like. For me, my favorite is Jensen's. Jensen.
You hipped me to Jensen's, and it's very
Jensen's
good.
is very good.
Old Tom Gin is for me.
Has anybody tried the Monkey 47?
That's
Monkey 47.
That was my favorite gin before Death Store.
It's
It's good. I don't know if it's worth the price for the tiny little bottle.
That's what pisses me off about it, because it's like.
Although when I was in London last year, I got a gin and tonic because of course you're in London, you have gin and tonics. And I asked for a Monkey 47 because they had it, and it wasn't great.
Oh, really?
It wasn't great in gin and tonic.
The local DC gin is called Green Hat from New Columbia Distilleries, and they're named because the guy who used to sell liquor to the members of Congress during Prohibition, you would know who he was outside the Capitol because he was wearing a green hat.
I'm going to show everyone. We're going to talk about this in the Hangout, but I got my shirts in today.
Hey, nice call. That's cool.
These are great shirts. This is our new design, and it's the message for our times currently.
Derek.
You should stay home and read comics. And we are selling these on our Threadless store, and a portion of the sales.
Oh, that's yours. That's your.
Yeah, it's our design, and a portion of the proceeds are going to go to comic stores. So
great.
Check it out. Threadless is doing a sale right now on all merchandise, and I think we're going to get 50% of our profits to comic stores.
That's awesome.
So
I'll buy one.
I just got a message, guys, from our buddy Hank who wants to join, and I may let him join, but we'll see.
Sure.
I have all the power right now.
Don't let it go. Sipsmith is another very good London dry gin.
Oh, we're still doing the gins?
Wait, here's a question. We're hosting a Tiki Hour. Why are we still talking about gin?
Well, someone in the chat room.
We're having Saturns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you want to talk? So, do you guys want to talk about the rum bottles that we have in our possession that we're most proud of?
Oh, I mean, sure. I mean, I have rum bottles. I'm not proud of them, but
yeah,
like sometimes they're rare, or you're excited.
Clearly, Mike wants to show off his rum, so show off your rum.
Well, you got me standing here. So Connor got me this.
Oh, okay.
This is Lost Spirits in Los Angeles. It's
a great rum.
Proof. 61%.
It'll fuck you up.
And I never do a full thing. I usually just blend it with another drop.
Plantation.
I'm gonna go grab a bottle now. If this is what we're doing.
I have a lot of plantation in my house.
It's a Navy style rum, and it's made here in Los Angeles, downtown LA. You can go to the distillery and tour. It's a great tour, and you can buy the bottles at the end, and it fucks you up. I made a couple of Mai Tais with it.
Yeah, no.
And I got so drunk off like 3 Mai Tais. It's so strong.
This is our local brand, Cotton and Reed here in DC.
Great.
Good. Make a number of good products. Currently hand sanitizer, but before they were making hand sanitizer, they were making some really good rum. Just very classic, smooth, clean drinking stuff. And then this has been my little go-to little sneaker. This Stolen. You guys try anything from this brand?
Is it good?
This is their overproofed Jamaican rum. They do a smoked rum that I also think is quite nice. It's a little off the beaten path just because it's smoked. But this is a pot still Jamaican rum, 6 years, and it's got that like crazy Jamaican funk that a lot of the Jamaican rums have, and I'm super into funky Jamaican rums right now.
I've got a bottle of the Hamilton Jamaican
Coffee Machine. Coffee Machine and I are on the same boat. I've got a lot of Havana Club and a lot of plantation in my house.
Wait, so are you getting the Havana Club that you can buy here in the States, or you have a source for?
No, I just get it here in the States. But I have a source for some other rums that
Hold on, I wanna interject for a second. In the chat room, I am so asked, how do I join the Discord, basically? And if you go to the patron page, which if you're a patron, which he seems to be, you'll have to scroll through the articles, but there you'll find the link to join the Discord. You can also search the tags on the articles, and there's a Discord tag, but that's where the link is for the Discord.
I was going to thank you for mentioning that. I was going to try to call that out.
But we want all the patrons to get in there, and if you're not a patron, you should join up and get in. We just hit our next stretch goal. We did talk about the hangout, but
here we go. Rum fire.
You're gonna be locked.
Yes, I have 2 bottles of rum fire in mine, which is 63%, not 61. So it's even a little stronger.
There's another good Jamaican rum that I really like called Dr. Bird. Bird is spelled B-Y-R-D.
Yeah,
I like that one a lot.
I've got a 21-year-old Fleur de Cagna.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Which is like drinking bourbon. But
and rum. I drank a lot of Cuban rum while I was living in Panama because you could get it easily and cheaply.
Well, the bottle that Mike showed, the Lost Spirits, you can totally put a big ice cube in a glass and pour 2 fingers and sip that like it's scotch. Yeah. It's a sipping rum if you don't want to mix it. That's why I bought it originally. On the tour, you end in a drinking room, and they pour you a shot, and we had to sip it. It was totally like sipping scotch, but rum.
I usually do that with Ronzacapa. The 23
and if you're in LA, Mike and I's buddy Scott has a company called 49 North. 49 North, Mike.
9 North, just 9 North.
49 North, and it's a great sipping rum as well.
One more rum.
This is not. Derek was asking. Discord is another situation entirely. It's another applications website. So
it's just a place to hang out.
This is just.
It's almost like the old Revision 3 forums.
There's a distillery in New Orleans called Old New Orleans. I think all the rum they make is fantastic. They have a great crystal rum. All their aged stuff is really solid. But one thing they do that's actually really cool is the owner wanted to compete with like the Sailor Jerry's and the Captain Morgan's. So he told his master distiller, figure out a way to make like a spiced rum. And the master distiller is a botanist, like a trained. He's a New Orleans kid. Like he's born and raised in New Orleans, but he has a degree in botany. And so he used his like grandmother's Cajun herb spice garden to put together like a truly Cajun spiced rum. Wow. And it is fantastic.
Hi, Ron.
Hello.
Hey, Ron.
How you doing,
Ron?
Sorry I'm late. I was having dinner.
That's all right.
You eat?
What?
If you eat, it makes you. It takes longer to get drunk.
I heard about dinner.
This is my dinner right here.
Yes, I have read And a Bottle of Rum. It is a great book. I was answering something in the chat.
That's okay.
Recommended reading for anyone.
That's another good topic. Good booze books.
Tony, granted, we're in our own homes and we've washed our hands so we can touch our own faces.
Ron? I'm gonna go make a cocktail, so I'll be right back.
All right, come right back.
As I touch my face.
Yeah, we're all home. No one's interacting with the world. We're
Connor, is that what your beard has grown to, or is that fake?
He fluffed it out. He has a fluffer.
Oh God!
That's what that means, Mike.
Can you defluff it? That's really that's more disturbing than Gordon with a shaved head.
No. I might defluff it for the.
I want to see his head do that. I want
Captain Morgan's Cavalier Attitude. Him becoming an admiral. Well, there is also Admiral something rum, which is even lower than the Captain Morgan on the shelf.
Really?
Yeah. At least the shelf here.
When I was living in Panama City, there's like the modern part of the city, and then there's kind of like the old town Panama City, which is called Casco Viejo, and then there's the oldest part of the city, which is Las Ruinas, the ruins. And they are ruins because that's the first place that the Spaniards tried to set up the city, and the actual Captain Morgan destroyed it.
Well, I gotta assume all those guys are jerks.
And he was a pirate.
Right. Gordon, do you want to talk about your Fez again? Because we have a lot more people watching now than earlier.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is my Fez. So I'm affiliated with the Tiki Bar here in the Midwest, Indianapolis area. And for our 1-year anniversary, there was some custom Fezes made for the bar. So this is mine.
And it looks real nice.
It's like super nice. Like this, it's like a textured fabric. This is like a riff on our logo. The guy who made it is Fezorama. Fine embroidered velvet. So.
And you're in your grotto. If you want to tell people about your grotto.
I'm in Gordo's Grotto. So for those of you that don't actually know me, my real life training is a scenic designer, production designer. So instead of using a fake background, I decided to build my own little beach background.
What did you say?
And that's Godzilla. That's Godzilla. I know it's hard to tell, but he's playing a ukulele with hula girls dancing around him.
Please explain affiliate with the local tiki bar. You're friends with the owners.
I'm friends with the owners, and I did a lot of the decorative carpentry for them when they opened.
Ron, tell us what you're drinking. Tell us about your glass. Tell us everything.
Oh yeah, nice glass, Ron.
So I'm drinking my standard 7 and 7, although in this time of crisis, I had to settle for a Sprite because the bodega didn't have any 7-Up.
We've already explained how we were all MacGyvering our drinks at this point.
Yeah. And this is my Waltz Tropical Hideaway glass.
That's great.
Where the birds sing words and the flowers croon. Established 1963, Waltz Tropical Hideaway Karaoke Hut. And
Ronald,
those, yes.
You see those?
I do. Those are awesome.
Those are from the tiki room. Oh yeah, we talked the other day about
the boys in the back are called macaws because of their claws. No, because they're macaws. So there you go.
I went with like a glass that's like anti-tiki. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. I doubt it will because it's just etched in there. But this glass is from Antarctica.
Ooh,
tiki indeed.
It says McMurdo Station, and then there's an outline of the continent of Antarctica.
Are they blowing glass in Antarctica?
I don't know how they got it down there as merchandise, but I had some friends who were stationed at McMurdo for a couple of seasons, and so they brought us back some old-fashioned and wine glasses.
Coffee machine. I love a dark and stormy. I'll be right back.
Dark and stormy is great. Yep, agreed.
And I split. If I'm called for a 2-ounce pour, I'll do 1 ounce of the Navy.
It'll fuck you up. It'll knock in your ear.
So I do it halfway.
Ron, this glass is from Lono.
Nice. I'm jealous. I do have a tiki. Hang on a second.
Lono glass.
Which one?
I do have my tiki mug here, which is from the Star Wars collection.
Oh yeah,
Gordon has a Chewbacca one right now.
Yeah.
I've got Jen gave us Star Trek ones.
I've been meaning to, and I wanted to before this, but I didn't get my act together. I wanted to make a painkiller. But that would require blending, and I have small children sleeping in the other room. So
don't they know the importance of blending?
Yeah, that's get used to it, kids.
Gordon, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Look at that!
Whoa!
I gotta say that years ago we took the family to Disney, and the girls went to bed. So Diane and I went to whatchamacallit? Trader Sam's.
Trader Sam's. Yeah.
And I was very jet lagged and having a crummy day, and so I ordered the Nautilus, which they said is for like 3 to 4 people. Which I'm a champ. I did it by myself.
It's a lot of liquid.
It's just a couple of rounds.
Did they do the whole thing where they came out with the bubbles, and they made the light show and everything? Yeah,
the whole thing.
That's awesome.
And then I bought the glass at the end because I was like, well, who doesn't love 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Do you?
That is pretty awesome.
So if we can talk about the merits of Trader Sam's, the Trader Sam's in Disneyland at the Disneyland Hotel is slightly better than the one in Orlando.
Yes, it is.
Because it is smaller and it is more of a bar, where the Trader Sam's at the Polynesian Hotel in Orlando, they made it bigger and they played up the like amusement aspect of it. And I was a little more, tone it down, people. You're trying too hard.
I mean, to bring the room not down, but that was the last time I hung out with Darwin Cook.
Every time I go there, I look at the fireplace and I remember the best night.
So if people will recall that we had the iFanboy reunion Darwin Cook panel that Ron and Josh and I, but Mike was there as well, running the sound for us, and we all went out that night to Trader Sam's with a bunch of us, like 20 people went out and took over that bar, and that was the last time we hung out. I was supposed to go to see, I think, either Canada or Florida, whatever they were at the time. I was supposed to go visit them before he got sick. That was the last time we saw him. But I still remember that night. It was a great night.
That was a great night. That was a fun night.
He was in rare form. He was funny.
Some shit went down outside. I remember there was that really screwed up person, that really person who was really hammered or whatever. And then of course he stepped in and took care of it. And he was a boss. He was great.
But it was.
Have you got the stones to meet me at 6 or 7 a.m.?
6.
6?
No, it was 9 a.m. That's
9
the sad.
a.m.
That's
It
the
might as well
sad
have been.
part. It was 9 a.m.
Doesn't matter.
It might as well have been 7 at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, he told us that at like 3 a.m., so it doesn't matter.
No, it was like midnight. It wasn't. I love the exaggeration as the years go on.
Everyone in this room has been at the isotope parties.
Yeah,
The old, never to be repeated isotope parties.
I just was talking with James. I just talked to James today.
I
bought a gift card.
Fanboy parties.
We were today was 8 years ago today. Tickets went on sale for Morrison Con.
No way.
Yeah, so we were reminiscing about that. So
Oh, we should get Hank in here because he has great Morrison Con stories. But what was funny about those old isotope iFanboy parties was that one year Mike and I got there late.
Like 10
And
minutes late.
We couldn't get into the party because it was so crowded. I was like,
We couldn't even get into our own party.
I'm one of the co-sponsors. They're like,
Yeah.
no room. So
So
we
we
had
had
to go across the street to Sauce.
Yeah.
And we started a mini spillover party there. And like James Robinson, a bunch of people came over to that party because they couldn't get into isotope.
That sauce place was great.
Sauce was always the alternate location. That was
We were
always
like,
the-
Mike and I
yeah.
were like, no? No.
That was the night that James Robinson wouldn't leave you alone.
Yeah, he came to apologize to me for
Yeah.
reasons I don't know.
It was the best.
Still don't know why. It's like,
He was very sorry.
so people don't know. So I was at the bar with Mike, and James Robinson was there, like in the group next to us, and he was sort of hovering, and then eventually he sort of made his way into our orbit. He said, "I just want to say I'm sorry." I was like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "I know it's been awkward." I was like, "No, it's been fine." And the whole time I'm like, in my head going, "What the fuck is he talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about."
That's the greatest because in his head he has some entire scenario of some like he said something to you and you took it the wrong way and he's been
Or
thinking about it and
He
like
thinks he's
yeah
somebody
it's-
else,
yeah.
and now he thinks he's cool with that person.
No,
It was just weird. I have no idea what he was talking about.
I'm pretty sure because I do remember afterwards him telling me that he talked to you at Sauce and that everything's worked out.
Yeah, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. And then he left, and I turned to Mike. I was like, I don't know what the fuck he was talking.
Listen, this is probably talking too much about other people, but James Robinson's San Francisco years were fraught with stories like that. There was lots of alcohol
he was
and
a good-
awkwardness.
He was ultimately a good dude, and I remember
Yeah.
at Darwin's wedding, he cornered me at our men's dinner. You remember that, Ron, at the steakhouse?
I do.
And he was at that point he was an avid listener to the show, and he was like, I can do all of you guys. I can do you, I can do Ron, I can do Josh, I can do all of your cadences. If you were ever not able to do the show, I could do all of you. And I was like, cool.
I liked it. We
Cool.
had the mafia bar, the mafia bar that we went to there. We had a good talk. He was good. Is he down in LA or is he still up in San Francisco?
I think he's in LA. No, he moved from San Francisco to Vegas, and then last I heard he was in LA working on DC TV shows.
Okay.
He's working on Stargirl, I think.
He's working on Stargirl, which premieres
Yeah.
next month, I think.
Yeah.
My mustache is almost long enough to start curling it up at the ends, and I'm very excited.
Connor, you literally look like it's a bad disguise.
Yeah. You look like
It's great. It's really soft. I've been really moisturizing and conditioning it, and it's real soft.
I feel like Ryan's working.
Me?
You working on something? You're
I'm
like
just looking stuff up.
another monitor type.
I do have another monitor. I'm thinking about more topics. I mean, I got James Robinson stories too. I'm just keeping
Ryan,
quiet.
we're telling iStep stories, so tell the people
Yeah.
how
I don't have any good ice stuff stories.
tell the people how I got you married.
It's a good story.
Tell the people how I got you married.
Which isotope party was it? Was it the
I don't
80s?
know.
They all blend into one big
I
party.
think it was the John Lehman one, the Chew one, right? With John
Oh man,
Rob.
that
Joe Carlson in the chat says I look like a CIA agent in Beirut in 1981, and
Yes.
I'm all in.
You look like a guy James Bond would meet up with, who would then shortly die.
Felix, I'm Felix.
So Ryan, that John Lehman party featured that drink,
Felix, yes.
that drink that Kirsten made. That was
The drink with the thyme and
with
the rim with the bouillon cube. rim.
Yes, the chicken bouillon cube. I got so destroyed that night, more so than any other party. That drink was
Those drinks. It was great
was
drink
special.
though.
Yeah.
I think that's the
that's not
party
the-
where
that's not the
Julie and I
story.
first got together.
No,
That's not the story.
Come on. Tell people the story. The people are waiting.
So my now wife and I were both at this party, and we had our first kiss at Isotope at that party. We were getting closer and closer throughout the course of the night, and I went up to the bar to get another one of these chicken drinks, and Connor saddled up to me strategically. Yeah, right. And was like, hey, so what's going on with you and Julie? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, we've had like some drama recently, and like things have been kind of up and down. I don't really know. Like, it feels like things are going well, but I don't want to make a mistake. And Connor goes, sometimes you make a mistake, and walks away.
Sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes you got to make a mistake.
It's good advice.
It's all mistakes, all the way down.
Which, by the way, though that advice is not only good in life, but especially at an Isotope party.
Yeah.
So
I abandoned my best friend who had to go. He went home with Storm and had to crash with Storm for the night.
Yikes.
But he was cool about it, so that all worked out. Yeah.
Is everyone on the same drink? Do we make more drinks? Should I get more?
No, I'm on my jet pilot now.
Tell everybody about that.
This is a Tiki tea cup from the world famous Tiki tea.
The Tiki Tea's the best.
1961. I'm using a jet pilot mix from the folks at BG Reynolds. They serve mixes online. I highly recommend them. This is a honey mix. I have
all my mixes are BG Reynolds. I have all those. Orgeat, passion fruit.
Great stuff. They have a
Demerara syrup. Yeah.
Send me a link to that, Mike.
I will.
Thanks.
And they have great. The thing is, then I have there's a missionary's downfall, which sounds like another metaphor. But I can't.
No, that's what happened at the party.
Peach liqueur and a spoonful of crushed pineapple, just like our dreams. So
crushed dream.
Ron, have you ever considered starting your own rum brand since your name in Spanish is rum?
No.
Ron's rum. Ron.
I know nothing about rum.
Ron de Ron.
Many, Justin. I'm just bringing them all out. But
I know nothing about rum other than how many ounces to put in a painkiller. Which, by the way, so drinking at Smuggler's Cove, talking about tiki bars, drinking at Smuggler's Cove in San Francisco, where they have a painkiller and then it's accompanied by a number, and the number represents the number of ounces of rum. You can get a painkiller 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
And then I went to a tiki bar, or went to a bar that had tiki drinks in Brooklyn, and they had painkiller on the menu. I'm like, yeah, can I get a painkiller 3? And they're just like, 3 what? And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, I see.
So at our bar, we had the painkiller and then prescription strength.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
So the best was once at Smuggler's Cove, we were talking to the bartender, and he got caught up in the conversation and didn't keep track of the pours, and inadvertently made a painkiller 6, and then was like, "Does anyone want this?" And so Josh Richardson took the challenge, and he drank it, and it did not go well for him the rest of the night.
I've never seen it.
Well, my Mai Tais are Mai Tai 5s always.
Josh Richardson, by the way, is the one who on the Tiki Tour, we did a Tiki Tour of the Tiki bars in San Francisco. And when we ended up at not Trader Vic's or Trader Sam's, the one on Geary, Mike, what's the one on Geary by the Mexican place? Is that Trader Sam's or Trader Vic's? It's Trader something.
Which year of the Tiki Tour was this? Or do you remember?
I don't know. They all blur.
They all blur together.
Tommy's?
Like 2000.
Yeah, the one by Tommy's. The one by
You guys
Tommy's.
made it out there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One year we made it really far.
That was the one. We made it all the way out to Geary. And
Yeah.
that was the night that we put November Rain on the jukebox, and Josh was so stoned and drunk that he just ended up sitting on one of the booths and started crying because November Rain was so sad. So.
There's a new tiki bar in San Francisco, Jungle Room. Is that what it's called? Julie, what's the new tiki bar?
There's a whole bunch that have opened since I
One near your
moved.
parents' place.
Yeah, none of us live in San Francisco anymore.
There's the one by Church and Market that I really like.
That's the one I'm thinking of. I think it's called Jungle Room.
Last Rights. It's called Last Rights.
Last Rights. You're
Actually,
right.
Gordon, you would really like this bar because it's
good.
It's the theme of the bar is that it's a built out of a crashed plane in the jungle.
Yep, it's like an adventure movie.
Yeah.
So there's actually a restaurant in Manuel Antonio, Costa Rica that is actually that.
That's a little more accurate. Do they have tiki drinks?
Yeah. And they have like the best fish I've ever eaten in my life.
I like a shot in a martini glass.
Yeah, Last Rights is really good. We have actually a pretty good tiki place here in DC called Archipelago.
I've heard.
I don't like stemware. Whenever I order a drink, I always ask if it comes in stemware or a regular glass. And when they say it's in stemware, I ask to put it in a glass because I don't want.
You're
Even like a martini?
You just like crush it.
I don't like the martini glass because it's too easy to spill.
Answer Connor's question.
What about a coupe?
Yeah.
What about a coupe?
What's a coupe?
A coupe is like martini glass but curved.
It's like the old Casablanca glass. You know, it's
like
It's like what they used to drink champagne out of before the flute.
Mike's got it.
That's what you put a bee's knees in.
Coupe. It's in the freezer.
That's like a champagne glass, right?
Well,
It's one of the two styles of champagne glasses because you can also put champagne in the flute.
Yeah,
I have 12 of those.
More traditional.
Nobody make a gif of this, but that's the shape of the flute.
No, that's the Great Gatsby Cheers glass. Yeah.
Jack Rudy wonders about helicopters. Yes, the reason why I'm looking around because there was a hovering helicopter. I can see it over there.
Wait, was it Jack Rudy or Jack Ruby?
No,
Jack Rudy makes the tonic syrup.
It's Rudy.
Listen, Kennedy, that son of a bitch, abandoned us in Cuba.
What was Bruce Wayne? One of his characters that he would dress up. I feel like he looked like a
Matches Malone.
You do look like Matches Malone. Yes,
I'll take it. All right. How's everyone doing? Good.
Wait, we have a question: gin or vodka for martinis?
Gin.
Gin.
Neither.
I prefer Martinez.
I don't drink martinis. I don't drink gin or vodka because I avoid the clear liquors.
Oh, you're so strong.
The healthiest.
I prefer a Vesper.
I only drink the brown ones.
Where do you go with tequila? So you do a reposado?
I make an exception for mezcal.
So San Francisco, you still have a little San Francisco left in you.
A little bit.
Do you miss it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Would you rather be living there than New York?
No, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's two sides of a coin. You know, you can't go wrong with either. Just where you are, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, I will say, living in New York and San Francisco are hard for different reasons. New York will remind you every now and then that you're not in control.
Oh yeah.
Like New York will slap you back in the face. Whereas San Francisco is fantastic and lovely. But stepping over syringe caps all day long.
I gotta tell you, that's always so hard when I hear that because when I grew up there, that was not what was happening.
When I left, it got bad. I remember once I was going to the gym at like 6 a.m. and there was a dude in front of my gym in Hayes Valley across from the Isotope. So like not like a bad neighborhood. Wow. And there was a junkie in between two cars on the street shooting up into his toe at like 6 a.m. And I was like, oh, really?
That's not good.
Yeah.
So it hasn't gotten better. It's still pretty. I have to go to San Francisco a couple of times a year because I have in-laws out there, and then one of my big annual meetings happens out there. And like every time Julie and I go back, we're kind of just aghast at how different the city feels and how like it keeps trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah, agreed.
It was funny because when I went back for the first time after I moved back to New York, and I went back to San Francisco like a couple months later, and I got off BART. And like within 5 minutes, I got yelled at by a homeless person, stepped over a syringe cap, and I was like, "Oh right, yeah, this is why." Almost stepped in poop. Yeah.
Probably and human poop, probably.
That was the fun game in San Francisco. Was it human or dog? You're never quite sure. Yeah. So.
Well, Mike's a native.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Mike?
Oh, it's terribly depressing whenever I go back. It's terribly depressing.
How often do you go?
I mean, maybe, I usually go for trade shows. So I go to GDC up there.
Your parents moved. They left.
But my parents actually have moved farther south. So they're down. Wow. They're not even in the city anymore. So now if I go, it's usually for work, which is surreal. And what's really strange is then now I end up staying in a hotel in my hometown, which is also very strange because I actually don't. And all the hotels are downtown. But when I was a kid, you never went downtown.
No, yeah.
Downtown. They never ever went downtown. So everybody who goes to San Francisco and they hang out downtown, they think they know what San Francisco is, and that is totally not the city at all. It's got nothing to do with it.
So
bizarre.
Mike, you can probably appreciate this more than most, but I was at a film festival in Mill Valley.
Yeah, good film festival.
I would go there. That's where
Gordon. That's where my friend Jay, who I'm doing the pinball project with, lives. He has a house in Mill Valley.
Beautiful. Mill Valley.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's Marin County, but it's like that. There's a little waterway there, and that's where the the lumber would go through
Yeah.
the mill, and then you can actually see the mill there. It's still there.
How very Twin Peaks of it.
Square is awesome. The food's great, and the film festival is legit.
Yeah.
My good friends, my parents saw La La Land premiere there.
Nice.
A screening there, so it's good.
Yeah, we had a
It completely changes, and I feel more and more like an outsider every time I go, which is really sad because I grew up thinking that I would die there.
right.
Hey,
My
hey,
old age, not
It's not too late.
hey, Ryan, when Connor comes back, ask him if Grant is on his balcony.
Grant.
Yeah,
Don't
trust
do
me. Just ask him. No, ask him in all confidence. Trust me. Trust me.
I
terrible.
feel like I'm getting punked
No,
right
you're
now.
not. You're not.
No, you're not getting punked.
You're not.
Ashton Kutcher vibe.
Connor lives across the way from
Connor's getting
from the Flash, from Grant Gustin.
Oh, Grant Gustin. I did know that. I
Yeah.
did know that.
So for those of you who are at home, Connor often steps out on his balcony and sees the Flash and his wife like having coffee or whatever. So
It's LA for you, Venice.
so LA. When Connor moved there, it was literally like I parked and I was trying to find his apartment. I'm like, where am I? Is this Point Break? Where am I?
Connor, you broke you. Yeah,
And Connor's back.
Hey, Connor, I think I saw Grant on his balcony
and we're back.
while you were gone.
I've kicked the entire mixer.
I don't think he heard you, Ryan.
These
I can't help it if you won't listen, Ron.
These
There's only so
glasses
much I can do.
hold. These glasses hold
A lot.
half that mixer.
Wow.
You should have brought the mixture out so you could show them.
Oh, yeah, I'll get that.
I bet Grant will make a reappearance while he's gone.
I sent it to him for his birthday or something. Christmas? I don't know. Sometime. Years ago.
Gordon, I do like the hat.
Thank
The
you.
fez. Good fez. A little Day of the Dead fez going on there.
No,
No,
that's-
this is from our tiki bar. This is our
Wait,
logo.
Connor, you spilt that? Is
It's
that
all,
what-
Oh yeah, I drank it all. It's all
it's all
because
Papa Nagini themed, so it's
this-
all like
this
cameras
holds
ahead.
this holds half of this mixer.
Connor, is that the $75 mug from Lono?
yeah, it's
Probably yeah.
It's so overpriced. It's so overpriced.
So
Yeah.
Gordon sent me this mixer. It's an old.
Look at that.
Is this the one of the year it is?
Mid-century modern. Very
It's a
50s.
great mid-century 50s mixer.
Yeah,
It's got-
look at that.
That's awesome.
It's got recipes. It's got the measuring side.
It's a piece of art.
Great mixer, yeah. It's beautiful.
So there's a great place called the Misfit near off the 3rd Street Promenade that has a whole shelf full of
Misfit's great.
shakers, and they have one that looks like nothing, but it's a bunch of pink elephants, and it's from like 1923. And it said that thing. Is
Mike,
Most
none of those are pink elephants. What are you seeing? What's happening? You okay?
no, it's one half of the Lost Spirits. I feel bad. Hank not joining.
I was making a
Hank-
delirium tremens joke.
Hank got real angry that we didn't invite him. He's been texting me the whole time, and then I invited him, and now he's like, "I'm too tired."
Are we live to patrons or live to everyone?
Everyone.
We're live to everyone, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Really?
Yeah,
Ron logs off immediately.
Oh, I haven't been looking at the chat.
We're live to
Ron,
everyone.
did I tell you about the secret pinball bar I found in Maryland?
No.
There's this chain of organic grocery stores in the like Baltimore, Maryland area and DC area called Mom's Organic Grocer.
You
And
too,
the guy
Nick?
who-
Nick?
The guy who owns it is a huge pinball fan. He's got this huge collection, and so in
Oh,
one of his
you did
stores-
tell me. You did tell me.
Okay, in College Park, Maryland, he set up a secret pinball room behind the frozen food section. I think just so he could offload some of his collection, honestly. But it was maybe the best pinball space I've ever been in that didn't serve alcohol, which was kind of a bummer. But
Hey, you got a pinball, man. That's fun.
yeah, it was good.
I'm tweeting it out, Connor.
I already did.
Oh,
I'm
Nick, wait
for
back.
my personal.
Zoom. I hear you.
Okay.
Hi, we know Houston.
Hank says he'll join for the last 10 minutes, but he doesn't want to put a shirt on. I told him he had to put a shirt on.
I do like the tiki art the old tiki art. I never realized that Josh was much thinner when we did that art.
We were all much thinner when we did that art.
I'm about the same.
He didn't have a beard back then. That was pre-beard, Josh.
Free beer, Josh. Yeah, which is always weird now when I see him.
Yeah.
He looks so young. He looks 8.
That was was that for one of our iStore parties? What was that for?
That was for San Diego.
It was San Diego
San
party.
Diego,
Yeah.
I always have to be careful whenever I go on YouTube because I'm often logged into the Marvel account.
Boy, was it fun when we used to have conventions?
Yeah.
Conventions are fun.
Those
Let's
were
not
the days.
let's not be negative. Let's avoid the reality outside.
Oh no, I mean, they are.
Well, this is WonderCon weekend. This would have been WonderCon weekend.
Yeah, and Easter. It's Easter this weekend. Did you guys know that?
Tomorrow.
I heard the rumor.
Me too.
Also,
By the way, responding to things in the chat.
Oh, going back to San Francisco, this tomorrow would be the race, the San Francisco
Easter Bunny race.
Beta Breakers?
No, the what is it called?
Naked people?
No, with the tricycles down the windy road.
Oh, that one.
Lombardi?
That happened after I left.
No, they stopped doing it at Lombard. There's actually a more windy road in San Francisco and Potrero Hill. What was it called? Oh man.
Go ahead, look it up.
Yeah.
We got a hello from Houston, Connor. Connor and I used to spend a lot of time in Houston.
Big wheel.
And we used to go to El Tiempo all the time.
Well, but what was the bar we used to love in Houston? The one that was which one?
The Anvil.
The Anvil. That was a great bar.
That's a great bar
spent
name.
a lot of time in Houston. The Anvil.
The Bring Your Own Big Wheel race in San Francisco. Yeah, which is always fun.
Did you ever do it?
Oh yeah, I did it like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Did you have your own big wheel? What did you use?
James always had like 4 in the back of the shop. So yeah.
Hey kid, give me that ride.
I could find my picture, I believe, on Instagram.
I don't think I could sit in a big wheel now.
No,
that's the whole point, Connor.
Remember the green machine? My parents wouldn't let me have that, where you steered from the back. You guys remember that at all?
Oh,
No.
yeah. I didn't have
The
that.
green
That's what
machine.
I'm talking about.
So you paddled with your feet, but you controlled it in the back, and it was very dangerous. It was like big wheels are dangerous enough, but only the cool rich kids with green
Here's my complaint about Instagram.
Okay. Let's get into it with 8 minutes left.
You can't, like, if you want to find something you posted like 5 years ago, you got to go all the way through your feed looking for it. Like I should be able to filter by year or like search by description or something like that. You know, I don't know.
Instagram basically went. We have all the features we're ever gonna have. We're done.
It was great when it was just a picture.
Yeah,
And in like a linear temporal order, and not
Yeah, that's it. That was it. Put a picture up. That's it.
We had before my sister knew how to ride a bike and still had a big wheel, but I had a bike. We took the rope, the climbing rope, off of the jungle gym and tied the big wheel to the back of my bike, and took off down the
It was
street.
the big wheel, not your sister.
No, she was on the big wheel, and we rounded a corner, and snapped the whip, and she like went way out and nearly slammed into a car. It was not smart.
I will say I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed looking for this photo, and I never realized how many pictures of Teddy Roosevelt I've posted over the years. Fascinating. Old TR.
So we're wrapping up this
Taking you outside to LA here.
iFanboy Tiki Happy Hour before we get to the Hangout.
Yeah, the actual hangout.
Does anyone have any tiki or booze related questions before we leave?
That's funny. Should I start drinking? No.
Yeah.
Where's my cake? I'm on my balcony. I thought you guys would like.
We're lucky, Mike, because
Pace.
the rain yesterday was intense.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's always a national holiday when it rains.
When got dogs, people like dogs.
Mike, Cass Sleepy wants to know if we ever went to Comic Palooza. Yes.
We did.
Mike and I definitely went to Comic Palooza. We ran the video game section on the top floor. Mike and I were in charge of it.
It was terrible.
And our company almost bought Comic Palooza.
I remember that.
Used to work for
Connor,
almost bought Comic Palooza.
didn't I tell you not to do that?
Oh yeah. They didn't listen to us.
They didn't listen to the word we said, which is why they are basically out of business. But
Hard rain.
we went to Comic Palooza for sure. We had a great time. It was a
We
good
like
regional show. It was a solid regional show.
Houston's the number one city where you tell people about it and they're like, I had no idea.
It's actually a really great city. Dang.
Bayou City.
My beer's really.
You love it. Connor just can't keep his hands on himself.
Can't stop massaging your face.
Ryan, what's your dog's name?
This is Clementine. She's a rescue from here in DC.
Timing. Favorite whiskey drink? Improved whiskey cocktail. That's what I like. It's a basically an old fashioned with maraschino liqueur.
Man, you scroll back deep enough in your own Instagram feed, and it's like somebody else's life.
Another Dave, I do.
Pre-kids.
Not even that. Like even I mean, just way deeper than that. Like completely different. Like who is this person?
Someone asked, Ron, do you still have those iFanboy isotope glasses that Darwin did?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I've got. You mean from New Frontier?
No,
Yeah,
he
no,
did. He did email for that. It was the Frontier
Jonah
Living.
Hex, Ginny Hex.
This
Yeah.
is what I'm holding up.
Well, there's the
Well,
Jonah Hex
yeah.
one, and there's
I
the
have
other one.
I have the Jonah Hex.
I've got the New Frontier one, just like that, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
I have the Frontier Living, and I have the Jonah Hex, Ginny Hex.
Frontier Living, that's the one.
Yeah, I have both of those. All of them. This is 2008, guys.
That's crazy. You can't do the math. You can't do the math.
I remember that. Well, I remember a lot from that party, but anyway.
I have other ones that he did in Canada. They were on like eBay. I bought them.
I have one of the Bill Willingham wine glasses because that was my first isotope party.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
those are great.
These are great.
Those are beautiful. Gordon and
we'll have a party and someone will use these. I'm like, please put that.
Oh
down.
God, I don't let anyone touch those of mine.
Gordon, what's your go-to rum for a daiquiri or anyone in the room?
Oh man.
Well, I mean anything white crystal rum. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I tend to. It depends, like, on how much other alcohol is going in the drink. So a daiquiri is where I would put the Havana Club because I like the taste of that one.
That's a good one.
Here we go. All right, I found a picture from the big wheel race. I'm gonna share my screen. All right.
If I was drinking, Bullet's good. I like Bullet Rye.
Yeah, I like Bullet Rye a lot.
That's the only rye I've got right now.
They're gonna kick.
All right.
Julie has
Connor, take my screen.
Julie has encouraged me to avoid buying Bullet.
Oh shit, Hank's here.
They've had some LGBTQ issues.
Literally, Hank, it's over.
There you go.
Oh my God, that's so good.
That's me, and there's James and my big wheel.
Nice.
That was 417 weeks ago, April 8th, 2012.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, so that was 8 years ago.
Hank is here for the last 3
What's
minutes
up,
of the
fellas?
show.
Hey Ryan, hey
That's 3
Hank.
minutes.
Hank, I'm using your cup.
Hank,
Long time.
Hank, why do you have
viewers will know
a shirt on?
Connor made me put one on.
Take it off, man. Take it off.
Do you need to be wearing a shirt right now?
You start nude and then we put.
Ron and I used to be roommates, and that was the question I always asked. Do I need to be wearing a shirt right now? And
There we go.
Hank was on earlier talking about being a lapsed comic reader. Now he's not wearing a shirt. Okay.
This is good. This is how we roll. This is how the pre-hangout folks roll. The other part.
This is insight. This is insight.
In 2 minutes,
These are
Polished hangout.
they're old parties that we used to
kicking
throw.
all of you out in 2 minutes.
The glasses are from old Isotope iFanboy parties that used to be thrown when WonderCon was up in San Francisco, and it was apparently 5,000 years ago.
We used to co-sponsor the parties at WonderCon, and we would make special glasses for them, and you could only buy them if you were at the party. And
those were the days.
It was amazing because you would get your glass, and then you would have to figure out how to not
break
how
it.
to retract it during the party.
Yeah.
Wait,
You have to hide it somewhere.
What's not LGBT friendly?
I don't know.
Bullet is not LGBTQ friendly.
Yeah,
Bullet's not
I love
LGBTQ
High
friendly.
West.
They're bigots.
Stuart, I'm with you.
The Bullet
Bullet,
family,
they're
they have this whole thing about like they're a family business and they market everything as like we're the family brand, but a daughter of the family is gay and they basically exclude her from all the marketing materials, even though she actually works for the
Yeah,
company.
I know.
She was going to take over the company.
And
I'm done.
and like Bullets they were the biggest bourbon brand in San Francisco for a long time when like the bourbon revolution was kind of happening in the US.
But now it's everywhere. It's too much.
And that was because of her, because she was like working the scene in San Francisco, getting the Bullet out there. So they've just been shitty to her in a way that, I joke that like I'm sure every other rural Kentucky-based bourbon brand is great on this issue, but like we have solid evidence that they're not, and so Julie and I have avoided the Bullet.
Mike, what was the other brand we used to get?
Ended this meeting. This is great.
What was the other one we used to get, Mike? The non-Bullet one. Start with an R.
Oh,
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse rye is good. Rittenhouse
is rye.
Rittenhouse is good. So
Yeah.
I'll switch to Rittenhouse then.
I'll switch. I'm making the switch.
Trace is better than Bullet, anyways.
Yeah, I don't.
High West is also good, Mike.
I love High
You're
West.
right.
The double rye High West that I've got.
Okay, so
High West is
we're here.
it's
at
a
6.
ski in, ski out distillery.
Everyone but Ron, say goodbye.
Hi guys. Hey everybody, nice to see you. Some really great names there that I haven't seen in a while. Who are also people, so it's also nice.
I refuse to say goodbye.
All right.
I'll be here in spirit.
Later.
Have fun with the real show.
We'll do a bourbon
What's going on,
theme.
people?
Bye, guys.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Sending everyone out of the chat.
I'm leaving studio.
Bye.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh, now the party's over.
We gotta add Josh. There's Josh.
Fuck yourself.
Listen, we had a big party going on.
Oh, hey, there's Josh.
Good for you.
What's funny, what people don't realize is that Josh isn't speaking to half those people. So that's why
we had to wait.
Yeah,
It was
we had
awkward.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
How you doing? How you doing, Josh?
I'm all right. It's very dark and calm in your place.
It is dark and calm. The babies are asleep. The kitchen's back there.
Yeah.
I've got a 7 and 7. Things are well. What hat you got there? Is that a
It has a bike on it.
no? Do you ride bikes?
It's a non-denominational hat. I used to.
Spring is coming though.
I went the other day.
Yeah.
So are we going to talk about the fact that Connor is basically Brian Wilson?
Earlier we were
having feelings.
Earlier we were calling him Matches Malone.
No, he's Brian. He's like mid-70s Brian Wilson.
Connor, so the shirts came out pretty good.
Yeah, they're really nice. Yeah.
Yeah?
So I got my
Excellent.
baseball tee. I got a T-shirt. Got a sweatshirt.
Cool.
Thought I'd wear it for the show. I'm unfluffing my beard.
So Connor fluffed up his beard for the tiki
I
party.
can fluff it back out.
No, don't do that. Oh God.
No, it's great.
If I pay you, will you shave?
How's your falsetto?
It's beautiful.
In my room.
Yeah, I did a costume change because that was my tiki costume, and now I'm into regular hangout costume.
Now you're Dave Allen, session bassist.
Do we want to bring Gordon back into the chat, or we go to the three of us? He's the
I'm
only one
game.
still around. That's all I'm asking.
If he's still around, I'm game. He's the
Hey,
intern.
it's Gordon. Hey, Gordon.
You're muted, Gordon.
Your mic is muted.
I will say
Yeah,
that Gordon definitely has better production values than any of us.
He made a room.
I
He
know,
made a corner
yeah.
for his whole thing. First of all, I want to mention to Jikorji or Jiro that I have used my Harry's razor.
That's not just so
It's
we
not
know.
official, but
That's
that's
not sanctioned by the good
not
people of
sanctioned by the
Harry's.
people of Harry's.
You're
but-
only supposed to use it on your face.
Anyway,
And
I
you've
haven't,
been reprimanded. Only the face.
this is very comfortable. It's very soft.
The Dollar Shave Club people, on the other hand, they
willing-
advertise it outright for head dudes.
Let's talk.
Let's do it.
Josh, how are you?
What, Connor? What's the agenda?
Well,
Wait,
I think
Josh-
first we should talk about Josh's lost top split.
Oh, we're talking about that.
I'm not ready.
We
I wanna
mentioned it
go back
on the
to
show.
Josh's thing. Josh, I went on a bike ride today.
How'd that work out for you?
It was nice. I bought a beach cruiser today and rode it all around.
I rode, I think it was like Connor's or his sister's or somebody's beach cruiser, and I was like, oh, this is very flexible. I just wasn't used to it.
I was so comfortable. I was like sitting upright and
I thought something was going to break.
I was going slow. It was nice.
Yeah.
So we did our show this week, and as people may or may not know, we had our patron on. We had our eccentric benefactor who gave it that level and was on the show this week. And he was great. He was really good.
I do think it's amazing that now this is so to give everyone kind of you're all of our friends. You're the loyal patrons, and also we opened it up to everybody, right? So you could think about being a patron or not.
Yeah.
We thank everybody. But when we did Goodfellas Minute, we did as a joke. We put a patron level of what did we call it? What was that level?
It was
called?
the Commandant.
Oh, the Commandant. Yeah, the Commandant. And
The Midnight Game Man.
and we set it for a very high number.
We thought it was silly.
And someone did it. And so then when we did the iFanboy Patreon, we said, well, let's do that again because no one will do that ever again. And it took a couple of years, but it actually happened. So,
But there was a lot of like, is this real?
Yeah.
Is this this can't be? Surely no one would.
Did he hold his own? How was the show with him?
he was really good. He has his own podcast, so he had a microphone, which is nice.
Good mic.
Great.
I was like, is that an EVRE 320? He's like, how do you know that? I was like, I'm very good.
We had guests on Goodfellas Minute who didn't have microphones, so that was an upgrade. And he was totally great. But Josh did talk about his lost interview, and I think you should tell the people now.
I can't wait to hear this story.
By the way, let's open your vein up.
Let's give a shout out to Brad and to Harley, new patrons. Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for joining.
Let's before Josh opens his vein for the public. We had a really incredible month for patrons. Don't know why you all decided to do that, but incredibly humbling would be an understatement. And we thank you. This is, as we mentioned before, a part-time job for us, and it's a lot of work, and we like doing it, but you all make it easier, and it's incredible, and we thank everyone who's joined up, even at $1. It's very humbling to anyone who will choose to support the show. We thank you. We hope we give you enough rewards, and we're going to start, as we mentioned on the show that comes out tomorrow. We're going to start, unleashing video shows on the YouTube, and we're going to. What's the other thing we're going to do? The media explode is happening now. Explode. Yeah, we've been figuring out what we're going to do for the next episode. We're heading full steam forward, and now the next stretch goal is the quarterly barbecue show. And if longtime listeners and viewers, and we know they're not listeners or viewers, know that we used to do an annual episode where we'd go to somebody's house and barbecue a lot of meat and answer emails and eat all that meat. And we were much younger then, so it would be less meat now.
Well, we would love to do the same amount of meat with a lot more discomfort later.
And the reason why it's at that level is because at the time we were doing it, we were all living in the Northeast, close to New York City, and it was easy to do. Now I'm in California, Josh is in New Hampshire, Ron's in New York City. We'd have to fly. We'd also have to buy equipment. We don't have our camera equipment anymore. The camera equipment we used to have is out of date. We have to buy
I can get us camera equipment. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Shoot it with an iPhone.
Yeah. The reason why it's at that level is because we have to actually ramp up production again. But also, one of us is going to fly somewhere. I'm assuming we'd fly to Josh's house.
Here's the thought I had.
Or come to my house and do it on the balcony. I got my grill.
I know that the next patron level is $5,000 for a quarterly barbecue show, which is just ridiculous. Like, A, not going to happen. B, if it did happen, it would be ridiculous to actually do it. But what if we added an in-between where if we hit 4,000, we do a barbecue show? We're not quarterly. We just do one for old time's sake.
We could do, but would it be we're all in our own spaces? And
no, we fly.
It might have to be that.
No, oh yeah, true. No, I'm assuming we're going to live in a world where we can travel. But
if we hit 4,000, I think we could probably
do it once.
One barbecue show happen.
We could meet in Indiana for the Star Wars celebration.
Yes.
We always have a great time with that.
No, but I think we could the extra money from the patron reward would cover the flights and cover the meat. I mean, honestly, we set the bar high that weekend at my house in Connecticut. That one time, the World of Warcraft-a-Palooza weekend, we grilled a lot of meat for 48 hours straight.
So let's set the stage. All the four of us in this chat, we all played a lot of Warcraft 3, and my brother. So it was the five of us. We played Warcraft 3 together.
Yep.
And one weekend we decided, hey, let's all go to Ron's house. And it was me and Ron and Josh, and we'll connect with Gordon virtually and my brother. So it was the four of us plus Gordon. Well, the four of us will go to Ron's house in Connecticut. Me and my brother and Josh all living in New York City. We'll go to Ron's house for the weekend. We'll connect with Gordon virtually. We'll play Warcraft all weekend, which is something that we did a lot. Like I would go to your place, Ron, in Connecticut, and we would play like for 40 hours.
Yeah, because this is before it was networked. It was like actual physical LAN party where we set up the computers and connected them on a local network.
Right.
and would play. And then they opened it up to BattleNet, and we were able to connect to other people in other places. But not only was it an all weekend Warcraft party, but then we're like, let's just be grilling meat all the time. So I just remember like 2 a.m.
We went to Stu Leonard's.
Yep.
And we bought tons of fucking meat. And we get to Ron's house, and there's a giant storm, and the power gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And this power is knocked out for like 36 hours. So we're like, we can't play Warcraft, and we got to cook this meat. So we just went out. And Ron had a great gas grill out on his patio.
Yeah, that was a good grill.
We just grilled a fuck ton of meat that we'd meant to grill for the whole weekend, but it was only basically for one day. And I think the power came back, and we got about like 1 day's worth of Warcraft 3 out of it. But
yeah, we ate a lot of meat.
And also, we almost died.
That's the one we had T-shirts for.
Yeah, I made T-shirts for the weekend. I still have mine. Warcraft-apalooza.
Does it fit?
No. And
Mine probably does. It was gigantic then. It's
and
like sausagey kind of thing.
Me and Josh and my brother almost died because my car, I had taken it in for service, and the
I remember that
service technician hadn't tightened the rail in which the fuel injector sits on, so it popped up and it was injecting fuel into the engine, just covering the engine with fuel. And so, first of all, we're losing gas rapidly, and second of all, Josh is like, "I'm spilling gas." And I remember Josh, you putting your nose to the air conditioner and be like, "Yeah, I spilled gas." And we had to pull over on 95
on I-95.
And I have a photo of it.
Our mafia.
I have a photo of it with a big stain underneath the car because the gas was just leaking down into the road, and we had to get towed. And the guy, I had to ride the tow truck. You guys ride with you and my brother went with Ron, and the guy was like, "Yeah, your car almost blew up."
Yeah, so, but don't forget the other part of it was that the first tow truck guy who stopped said he couldn't help us because we were on the wrong part of the highway for.
We were like almost Connecticut.
Right, but he was like, "This isn't. I'm not allowed to pick anybody up." And I was
but
like,
the thing is,
that's the mob.
We almost died.
I don't remember that.
The car almost.
I mean, I remember like
you weren't at the garage. I was the only one at the garage. He said your car almost blew up, and that's what I started calling it Death Car for the rest of the time I had that car. But that was a great weekend. We played a little bit, but not as much as we'd planned on. We had a lot of meat, and that led to World of Warcraft, which led to the podcast, which led to where we all are right now.
A lot of meat isn't terribly unusual.
It's actually a good
20, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it's actually a very good point that if we were not playing World of Warcraft, we would never start the podcast, because the whole reason why we started the podcast was because, well, we already have these headsets that we're using to Skype each other while we play World of Warcraft. Let's just record a conversation about comics.
And also, we had to stop playing World of Warcraft.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I remember mine was 3 months out of the year, 3 whole months I was in World of Warcraft. And that wasn't like unusual for the three of us. It was like normal.
Yeah.
I remember they had the counter, and it was like, you've been in the game 3 months. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Like,
every night and every weekend from Friday night till Sunday night.
I mean, it was a
quarter of your life, not even waking life. A full quarter of your life.
Quarter.
I remember
you would leave, Josh, and Ron and I would stay up and play until the sun came up.
I was just gonna say, I remember the first time we started playing Friday night, and then I remember looking out the window and seeing the sun rising, and go, oh God.
Okay, a couple of things though. This is important. A, we were not good.
No.
We did all this time. No, but like whenever like it was like the PD
raid.
You guys got to 60. I got to 59, and I
got to 60.
I can tell you the point when I was like, this has to stop, is that your son had come up, right? And so you guys like, I have to go to bed, or like I have to go to work now, whatever it was. Because
the real problem was sitting at your desk at work and thinking about it.
Yeah, no, there was
like,
a time period where I'd be at work and I would see the UI of the game as I was walking around the office. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So well, that's the addiction factor. That's how I knew. That was one thing I knew was a problem, is that when I wasn't doing that, I was cranky. I was like literally like edgy.
It was like heroin.
Yes, it was. But you guys both left, so it was like 4 a.m. West Coast time or whatever. And we're a year into this, and I'm running around on some stupid virtual hillside, like looking for plants or whatever. And I just was like, what am I doing?
that was
really was just like that.
We all had that moment of clarity where we were like,
yeah.
why am I doing this? And I remember logging off for the last time and being like,
well, I
out.
remember having several months of wrestling with the fact that I had to get home from work so that I could go into World of Warcraft and work. Like, because I was like mining or like when you in the grind.
You're grinding.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember like for several weeks having issues with that. But then I remember the moment I hit level 60 and the little halo went to level 60 and went up and I just exited and then I deleted the game and I walked away.
Well, it's like it's yeah. I mean, I think it's like 100 now or whatever. 100. It's
120. I think it is. Right?
Yeah, 120.
Yeah.
Well, I just
I had a ton of fun. I had a ton of fun playing the game. I had fun with you guys, all four of us, plus our friends, other players who played it. Who was the other guy that we joined with, Ron? Who was primarily your friend?
Andrew.
Yeah. We had a guild.
Yeah.
And we had a great time, but it was super fun. But like,
this is why Warcraft 3 was so much better because
it was contained.
We were addicted, but it was contained.
It was you could finish a game and you could walk away. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I will never forget that when Ian, Connor's brother Ian, figured out the map editor, and we started playing. We stopped playing. We stopped playing the Blizzard created maps and started playing maps that Connor and Ian made. And remember one where the Fog of War was on, so you didn't know the layout. And I'm going through it, and I'm trying to find, and I realized that it's New York City. And I
made a New York City map. Yeah, and the Bronx was the most fortified area.
And then we learned about Catan. So
Chicorio,
we all went a different way.
Chicorio in the chat room asked what our guild's called. It was called the West Follies. That was our guild. It was a take on Westfall and the Westies. We were the West Follies.
We're such nerds.
I know.
So Westfall was the area in World of Warcraft, and Westfall and the Westies was the Irish gang in the '60s in New York. So we were the West Follies, and so our friend Andrew, his character's name was Tubbs. And so I wanted to be.
Your memory's amazing.
I wanted to be Crockett because Crockett and Tubbs, like Miami Vice. But Crockett was taken, so I was Croquette with a Q. But my pronunciation was Crockett, so it was Crockett and Tubbs. And we were the West Follies. And Ron was a paladin.
I was a dwarf paladin woman.
That's right.
Named Sheila
Hunter. Or were you a mage?
You know, I just figured out that name. It's like at the time I don't think I'd have known, but
But Joshua, what were you? Because I was a warrior. Ron was a
paladin.
Paladin. What were you?
I was a paladin.
You were a dwarf, weren't you?
I think.
We had two paladins and a warrior. Because very very quickly Andrew left.
Yeah, he didn't. He left like around level 30. He was So
we weren't good.
We were fine. We didn't lose a lot.
We were not good at raids. No,
and I'm also remembering like Warcraft 3 whenever like we'd like
no. Warcraft 3 because we were in our late 20s and we would go up against like 14-year-olds and our reflex was not as quick and we would lose very quickly. Yeah.
I think I played your brother a couple times and it went.
He was very good, yeah.
We were not.
We used to go to Ron's house and play like all night. We would put in like because Ron had that six DVD changer player, and we'd put 6 movies in.
No, we would put all the Lord of the Rings movies in the extended edition.
Star Wars
because but turns out the Lord of the Rings soundtrack was the best music for playing Warcraft 3 ever. Because like it would be like the Battle of Helm's Deep, and it'd be like dun 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 dun, and like you're playing, and it would get you. Oh, it was great.
So we would, and all of a sudden you look up, and it was the 3rd movie. You're like, what happened? What happened? Where did the hours go? And I remember driving home from your house, and it would be like 6 a.m. and the sun was coming up, and I would get home at like 7 and go to sleep until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That would never happen now. That would never happen.
Different life.
Yeah. We had a guild. I mean, I had a good time, but it was cool.
Connor was really a fan of the guild, by the way. In case you haven't picked up on that, like he was really excited that we had a guild.
We had to work hard to get a guild. We had to get enough people in it, and
So do people still play World of Warcraft? I mean, like that's still happening.
Oh yeah.
Did anyone see the movie? Wasn't there a movie?
The movie was great. The movie was fantastic.
It peaked and went down, but it's still very popular. And
well, it's been so long that they came out with World of Warcraft Classic, which was the way the game was when we played it back in 2006, because it's changed so much over the years. Yeah, apparently that was very controversial.
Well, what was funny was my brother had it first, and we were living together. And I remember he was like, "I gotta go to the bathroom. Play for me." And I sat down at the keyboard, and I was like, "What is going on?" Because if you recall, the Star Wars Knights of Terrascasi was also a like that kind of game. No, not
Star Wars Galaxies. There's Galaxies.
No. The old one. The
Battlefront.
Wars. What was it called? Knights
of the Old Republic.
That's the Old Republic.
Yeah.
It was the same kind of game where you hit one button and you attack. So I was used to like hitting a button and attacking, as opposed to World of Warcraft where you just hit attack and it does it. So I remember playing for a month and I was like, "What is this game? This is terrible."
Do you remember when Star Wars Galaxies came out and we were so excited because it was like World of Warcraft but in Star Wars, and like the game started and it dropped you in the middle of a desert planet with nothing, and you just had to run for like hours to get to the town? I was like, forget this, and I just exited and never played again.
Well, the same thing with the City of Heroes and TC. TC tried to make their own, and it was like, well, why do I want to not be Superman? Like,
right? Yeah. City of Heroes. I forgot about City of Heroes. Oh god, so fun. Apparently there's a Star Trek MMO that is like thriving, and I'm like, I saw it was mentioned in an article. I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that, and I just did not.
All right, in the chat room, what do you guys play? Because I don't play any video games now except for like solitaire on my iPad. Right.
Says the old man.
Well, I don't have a console. I don't have any of that stuff.
I play like one game a year, maybe a little more because my kids play now sometimes. But like, I've been.
We don't even have a system or anything.
I have Xbox One. I've been playing.
Your kids play Minecraft,
Roblox. They're a little off Minecraft right now.
More Roblox is a thing now.
Yeah, Roblox is popular.
It's horrible.
What is it?
Why is it horrible?
Because it's like pointless. It's just like collecting shit, and then you have to pay money, and then collect some more shit, and then you collect some more shit, and it's just like this endless, pointless thing that I don't understand and don't like.
Sounds like World of Warcraft.
A little. At least there was like there was like the auspices of a story there, though. Like there was a thing that you were sort of going after. I have been like last year I played Red Dead Redemption 2 for a while, and then I finished it, and I was really sad because that was a great game. And then the only other games I've really been playing the past few years are Assassin's Creed, which got me because they would put you in a historical setting. Like the first one I got was the Revolutionary War one. I was like, that's rad. And then it was Revolutionary France and Jack the Ripper London. And now I've been doing the fucking Greece one, and it will not end. It's the biggest goddamn game. I don't want to play it anymore, but I do want to finish it. It's driving me crazy.
I will say one of my favorite things about World of Warcraft was when we entered a new land.
Yeah.
Like that was always so exciting because it was like, I
love Warcraft. I love the world of it. I love everything about it. I mean, I played Warcraft 2 in college.
And we played that fighting game. We played that map game for a year, right? What game was that?
Warcraft 3 was after college, Frozen Throne. I mean,
Frozen Throne, yeah.
I loved the whole world of Warcraft. I loved everything about it. It was.
I never beat Frozen Throne.
More work?
More work?
More work?
All right.
No one else.
Right.
So good.
But
I miss games. I miss playing games.
So Mike Rome and I, if you were in the last chat, we used to work at a video game company together, and we had a game that was like Warcraft called Grey Goo. That was a RPG game, and it was really fun. I played a ton of it. And then we had another game that was called Dreadnought that was not as fun, but like I love those games where you manage resources, you manage armies, you manage I love those.
It goes back to it was Command and Conquer and StarCraft. Those games were awesome too.
Command and Conquer made Grey Goo for us.
Yeah,
and I just like managing the base and the resources and the armies. I like that. It appeals to me. Whereas,
did you try the G.I. Joe one? There's a mobile game, G.I. Joe.
The mobile experience just isn't the same, and they just try to bleed money from you, and you gotta watch ads and all this stuff. I did see that they're remaking the Blade Runner game from the 90s, which caught my eye. I was like, ooh.
So I just downloaded, and I haven't even played it yet, the Mario Kart mobile game.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
But, like, I will always go back to how Ron and I used to play Mario Kart, and it's like I don't want anything that is not that experience.
Right.
Like that was Mario Kart.
Do you have a Switch?
No.
Apparently, all the kids are playing Animal Crossing these days.
That's what I hear.
And many of the adults.
Yeah. Well, kids in quotes.
Do you know that I downloaded like a couple when this whole thing started? Like they put the Sims 4 on sale for like $5, and I was like, I'll buy it. And when Connor gets back, he'll probably say this again. Even if he'd heard me, he'd just keep saying it. Like we were playing it for a little while way back when on PCs. And him and I both had this realization that it was stressing us out, and it was the exact same stress of real life. I was like, I take the garbage out, and then I got to do the dinner, and I don't have time, and I got to get bed in time for work. And I was like, okay, and I deleted it. And then like, so whatever this is, 10, 15 years, however much later it is, like I was like, $5. Okay.
Yeah, and you're back to it, right? Yeah.
I told you a couple times. But
I told you about James from Isotope Sims character, right? What he did, his murder house.
Not really.
He played The Sims, and he built up the house to be like every amusement and fun thing you could put in the house. He had like games and arcade machines and all stuff, and he had a big pool. And so he made it so that his house was a big attraction for the rest of the neighborhood. And so people would come in and they'd get in his pool, and then he would take the ladders out of the pool. And so then people would be stuck, and they just keep swimming until they got tired, and they go, oh, and then they die. And then he made a secret room in his house with bookshelves and all the urns of all the dead people that died in his pool.
That's so terrible.
The H.H. Holmes of The Sims.
Oh, it was great. Very funny. Connor, stop with the beard. It's bothersome.
I've put so much stuff in it that's so soft and fun to play with.
So you want to hear a funny video game joke? On my desktop Mac here at home, in the Mac you've got all the applications in the bottom. What is that called? The
taskbar?
No, the dock. In the dock. I was cleaning it up the other day because sometimes I'm like, I don't use that app. I don't use that, and I still had the Steam app there.
Oh yeah, Steam, yeah.
And I just laughed.
I had to have it for work. Yeah.
I don't think I've touched that in years, so it's still sitting there.
It's a whole world that's foreign to us.
Yeah.
I had to do it for years because I was 7 years at that company, but it's a weird world, man. I used to go to PAX multiple times a year.
Yeah.
It's a whole other. Somebody mentioned in the chat, they met me and Mike at PAX one year. It's fun.
Like a gamer, like you were professionally involved with it, but I would never describe you as a gamer to anybody.
No, and it was funny because we would go to our Houston office where the main game company was located, and they would talk about games, and we would just be like,
"Just my day job, man."
Drink. No, because we were at a separate section of the company. We weren't developers. We were like doing brand and stuff, but I liked playing those games. I enjoy playing video games. I just don't have the system here. I don't really have my computer have anything. Like right now, I play Heroes of the Storm right now. In fact, Mike sent me a message the other day. He played it for the first time in years yesterday, and he was like, "This is great." I was like,
"Yeah."
For a second, I was like,
"Thought about it, right?" Yeah.
I didn't.
I will say, like, I don't. If I finish a game or something, I don't really know what to get. Like, I wouldn't know what to go for a game. Like, I've had to get games for my kids. So I've got like party games and stuff that we played that are really fun. But like, I just keep getting the same thing. Like I played 3 BioShocks and three or 4 Mass Effects and like Red Dead Redemption. And then
you have an Xbox, right? You don't have a PlayStation?
Xbox One. I have a.
Do your kids play that, or just you?
No, they do. We played most of the Lego games. The Lego.
I was gonna say if you get a PlayStation 4, the Spider-Man game is actually like you can just swing around the city. It's just like
I know. I'm not gonna get that for that, but I looked for it once. I was like, can I get it? And I was like, no.
Yeah. I recognize Connor showing off our new T-shirt, but I got really scared for a second because I didn't know A, how much he's drank, and B, what he was actually doing. So
because you thought Joaquin Phoenix from 5 years ago showed up.
It is the message for our times. Stay home and read comics. So Ron, I don't know if you know that, but Josh and I have figured out what next week's show is going to be.
Oh, what is it?
If you're going to be involved in it, we have a rundown. We got it all set to go.
Oh God, I got to clear my calendar. Same time as usual, or
usual time?
All right. I'm putting it in my calendar right now.
It's fun because we're in a period where comics aren't really coming out. DC is putting out like a handful of digital only books, but for the most part, comics aren't coming out. And so, we've been doing the show since 2005, 15 years running on autopilot for them in terms of programming it, because we know what
autopilot is not the word I would choose.
Programming it's autopilot. It's the comics are coming out. You're going to talk about these things. You're going to do this and this and this. And so now it's like, what do you do for an hour? So it's been really interesting and fun to try to figure that out. And the last 3 shows have been totally different. This show, other than G.I. Joe, was the connecting thread.
Well, it's the same thing I'm going through at work now, which is it's actually forcing us to be way more creative and way more resourceful and
it's actually kind of fun that way.
Yeah, it is actually kind of fun. It's funny because I've been at Marvel now for 2.5 years, and like part of the allure when I went there was like, oh, we're building a studio, we can go live whenever we want, but there was just all these problems with like legal and clearances and all this stuff, and we just hadn't done it. And ironically now, like, we're out of the office and we're completely remote and we're going live at least once a day, every day, 5 days a week, and it's finally gotten to the point where I wanted it to be. And it just took a global pandemic, so
Derek Wilczynski, I'm going to say this. Derek Wilczynski wants to know how do you put together a non-COVID show? So this is very, very easy to ask. So here's what happens: the comics come out. Let's say Josh has the pick of the week. Josh is down here. Josh has the pick of the week. So he reads the comics. He reads them all. He picks the pick of the week. He sends an email to me and says, here's the pick of the week. Here are the other books I want to talk about. We have 2 segments. We've got the long and the short. The long segment, and then there's the ad break and the short segment. So we talk about books longer here, maybe 2 or 3 minutes each book here. So he says, here's the books I want to talk about here. I talk about here. And I write back to him and say, okay, add these books to this segment, add these books to this segment. And then Josh picks the emails from the,
whoever has the pick.
Email chain the email address we all share. He picks up the emails and whatever else we're going to do. And then he writes out the script, which basically is just a rundown of what we're talking about. And he sends it out, and then we record. We alternate weeks to edit, and it was easier when Ron was involved because we have to do it every other week, and then whoever is involved edits it, and puts it together, puts it out. But it's basically whoever is in charge, whoever has the pick is the producer of the show. That's their week. So they pick the main books, they pick the emails, they pick all the stuff. We have ads, we do ad sales, so we know if there's going to be an advertiser, and then we have whatever else is going to happen. We all know we have shared documents and things like that. So now without books, for instance, this week we had been talking about Batgirl, and we were like, why don't we just make it the pick of the week? So that's what we did. And then we had Damien, the patron, on, who I emailed him and said, hey, what do you want to talk about? Because you're on this weird show. And he said, I want to talk about Day Tripper. So that became our main focus. That's the longest segment of the show this week, is the Day Tripper discussion, which is it's a terrific discussion. Day Tripper is an incredible book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. I mean, it's even better now rereading it than it was when it came out when we were a little bit younger. I think it's a book that's going to age really, 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 really well. So next week, and I credit Josh, he figured out the G.I. Joe hook for our current reality is. So we're adding this G.I. Joe segment to the shows, and we talked about the G.I. Joe for like 15 minutes with Josh.
We could, the thing is, at any point we could pivot the entire brand to be a G.I. Joe show.
If we had cut out G.I. Joe this week, we would have had a regular episode. As it was an hour 20 with G.I. Joe, but that
would have been a mistake.
It would have been a mistake because we got to talk about Snow Job and his accent, and Scarlett's the feminist problems with being Scarlett, and all the stuff we talked about. But so now it's more of like it's really loose because this week Josh and I found a book to be pick of the week, and then we have G.I. Joe, we have emails, and we have other stuff. So we're gonna just sort of throw it together.
Am I gonna be looped in early enough to prepare?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can talk about comics or not. That's the only question.
I can talk about comics. Honestly, I'm probably at the lowest point of reading ever. So, I don't know how much I can talk about, but we'll see. But yeah.
So Ron will be on this week's show.
I will be on at least to talk about GI Joe for sure.
No, you'll be on for at least half the show.
Sure, yeah.
Can I answer a question real quick?
Of course.
Yes,
Go for it.
I am so wanted to know what I'm currently reading. And
What
the
are
answer
you reading?
is, well, I'm actually writing a cookbook, so I've been rereading Anthony Bourdain stuff just because I like that style. So I've been reading no comics, just Anthony Bourdain.
Well, Ron interviewed him,
I was there.
You were
I
there.
thought I was crew.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
guess I was, but
that was one of the coolest moments of doing the video show, was interviewing Anthony Bourdain.
That was
I think we all revere him in various ways, and getting to do 5 minutes with him was like.
It was more than 5 minutes, wasn't it? I mean,
It was not super long. It was like 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt like a long time. Like it was awesome. Like it was a good time.
It would have been nice if his weirdo friend wasn't there, but still.
He actually wrote the book.
I know.
I just read. So one of the things that's happening now is I had my stack of to read books that's been there for like 10 years. And so now I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing? So I've been plowing through it. I read Get Juro, and I read Secret, and I read the first 2 volumes of Mage.
Nice.
Like, I've been plowing through my to read stack that's been there forever. And Get Juro, I didn't.
There was something there. There was
something. It was entertaining for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely
I
entertaining.
wish it was just been whatever Bourdain wanted to do instead of the story. But this has allowed me to sort of plow through that stack. All I have left is Wade's Flash, which I read originally in issues, and then I have the Paul Pope volume that came out from Image. It was a bunch of his stuff.
Oh, what was that called? Oh, I worked on that.
Yeah.
What was that? Hang on.
Anyway, it's been this. What this has allowed me to do is sort of plow through that stack of books. I've been, literally been sitting forever.
100%, not 100%.
No, not 100%. It's the other one, the old.
It was,
I could go get it, but I don't really want to get up.
Heavy Liquid?
No. Do I go get it? I don't know.
What was that called? Oh man,
it was a collection of a couple of things.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. It's like a smaller file format.
Fuck it, go get it.
This is riveting,
isn't it?
Just reading a chat room.
I have a hungry dog.
All right, give us questions. Talk to me. Like, let me fill the time while Connor maybe passed out in the other room.
So here's what's on my nightstand currently. I'm currently reading this, which is Raymond Chandler, Farewell, My Lovely. It's his second book. But the One Trick Ripoff.
One Trick Ripoff, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah,
I worked on that.
That's this and the Outlaw Territory Volume 3 are currently on my nightstand. Both Image books. And then I have the 4 volumes of Wade's Flash Run, whatever it is. Josh, you talk for a while.
Did you want to? I sent you a visual aid in your Slack channel that you can use to show at the appropriate time. Do you see it?
Slack.
Slack. It's in your personal, like the direct message to you.
I don't have anything from you. I have your the waveform.
That's what I'm.
Oh, that's what you're sharing.
That's my visual aid. So you just hang on to that for a minute, and then you will present it. You're the producer director of this, right?
I am the producer of the show. So I will.
Someone said they're reading Elvis Costello's memoir. That thing took me a year and a half to get through. It's like 8 pages, 100 pages, and like no direction. You be like, here's a bit of a story, and then we'll jump.
Well, here's the problem, Josh. Is I'm on my laptop out on the balcony, so I don't have multiple screens.
Can't you just do like present, like Google Meet?
You do share screen.
Screen
the
share.
problem is screen share is the screen I'm currently looking at.
No, but just do it on a new tab.
All right, hold on.
Open the file.
I have multiple tabs going.
Josh, would you rather send it to me and I'll figure it out?
I'll just talk. It doesn't really matter.
Ron's had way fewer gin drinks than I've had.
So
that's a factor.
What happened to the Talksplode? Here you go. Dick Duffield asked you. There you go.
Yeah, what happened to the Talksplode?
You up.
So
talk about it.
I had reached out to a lot of people, and believe it or not, many of them just don't respond at all. But even more common than
a little bit, Josh, up it just a little bit.
More common than not responding is responding in the affirmative and then disappearing off of the face of the earth. So I was trying to think, who do I talk to? What do I do? And I thought, I've never talked to Kelly Thompson. And I said to somebody I know who works at Marvel, who won't go named, can you put me in touch with this person? Sorry. And reached out to her, and she was totally game, and she was cool, and we were scheduled, and then we got up to the point where we were going to do it. And she wrote back and she's like, I'm really sorry. I've had this terrible cold. This was, I want to say about 2 weeks before all hell broke loose, or I've been like really sick. And I was like, cool, I'll just reach out to you next week. And the next week she's like, I'm still really sick. And I was like, okay, well, and then we did the Aubrey show.
This is an extra special glimpse into Josh's process.
Yeah.
Extra special.
And so I did Aubrey's show, and I just kind of went, all right, well, I'll just come back to her later, because then shit was hitting the fan everywhere. And then Kelly reached out to me again, like, awesome. Right before I was about to get back to her, and I was like, oh, cool, she's really game to do it. That'll be great. So we set up a time, and, we started talking, and I'll just finish. We talked for about an hour and a half, and then for about a half an hour afterwards. All the really good Talksplodes include at least a half an hour afterwards where I ask the people who they're talking about when they don't name it for the show.
Well, that was every interview we ever did at iFanboy, including the Comic-Con ones where the camera would stop recording and we'd put the mic down and they'd go, okay, now let me tell you what really happened.
That was just for me. That was just like that's the best part of it. No, but I really liked her. And I thought it was a really good show. And I know I say that about all of them, but the fact is I do really good shows. And I get upstairs, and my wife's like, how'd that go? And I was like, that was a great one. I had a really fun time doing it, and it was like a different story and a different person than, because she's different than the other people, so it's kind of more interesting. And I was like, awesome. And then I had this thought. I said, I'm just gonna throw the waveform in Audacity and make sure everything's cool, because I'd had some technical problems before. But we
spent a whole couple hours, Josh and I, working through his technical problems.
Yeah, we had done tests and everything. And I don't know if you guys feel like this, but in the middle of these plague times, maybe you're not thinking sort of as clearly as you might normally. Maybe some of the details.
Sure, blame the pandemic.
This is absolutely happening to me. Like I have no focus. Like I'll be driving and just thinking, I just shouldn't be driving right now. I'm too freaked out. Anyway, throw it in the waveform monitor. Do you have the image?
Yeah, but the thing is, if I was at my other setup, I could do it, but I'm on my...
Send it to me. I can do it. Oh, my gosh.
I have a lot of gin. I've had almost a bottle.
In the meantime, I will answer Derek's question. Who likes the Minutemen, but only in fits and spurts? Give me some other artists like that you can try. Derek, if you not listen to Husker Du or Mission of Burma.
Wait, I thought Minutemen was Darwin Cook.
No, it was, but he's talking about the band.
I mean... I think you should definitely check out that first big Mike Watt solo album, Ball Hog or Tugboat.
Yeah,
no.
Everybody's in that. That's super fun. I'm just taking a long time for Slack to open.
Well, someone asked, Kyle Franz asked Ron if we're going to talk about Picard. We're going to talk about Picard on the All Media show that comes out this month.
On the Media Splode.
Media Splode, yes.
The first official Media Splode.
Josh, you're going to get your show, and Ron and I are going to get our show. Our show is Picard.
Bye, Kyle. Thanks, man.
All right. So I threw this in there and I thought, well, let's just check it out. Because the thing that had happened earlier is that Connor and I, we're trying to figure out a different solution, because things haven't been working quite right. And so we tried a couple of different things, and I tried a new setting on Audio Hijack, which would allow me to control my mic. Instead of getting the sound of the mic from Skype, I would get it from mine directly. And it was working like a charm. I did a test. It was great. That night I went down to record the show.
Ron's screen. There we go. There it is. That's
and then I pulled this up. Can you guys see this? And the thing is this. You guys know, if you've been around. I've done a lot of these.
Almost 100. Almost 100.
I've never and this is my nightmare, but I've actually been so long that I got past it. And I thought I should just check, but I've never had that problem, so why would I? And I just didn't change the source of the mic from when Connor and I were doing it earlier. And I don't know why I didn't know it, because it all sounded fine the way that it works, you know? And so there's that. So you could listen to her talking.
To be clear, I told Josh he should re-record his questions. Like the daily.
That would sound natural.
Their field pieces, they would do the interviews, and they later on would re-record the questions. So he should go back, just re-record what he was going to say.
So that night, like I plan it. I don't know what I said. So that night, I was like, all right, I'll reach out to her tomorrow, because it's just I felt terrible. Like it was like 2 hours of her time, and then it was like, I don't know, it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, no, I should just tell her now. And I was like, listen, I'm really sorry. And it was like, this has never happened to me before. It's just true. But
Josh.
And I just was like, I screwed it up, and if you want to do it again, I would love to, because it was a spectacular show. And then she didn't write back to me for a day and a half, and I thought, oh no, this is terrible. No, but she wrote back and she said, I'm devastated. I thought that was really fun. Whatever. I said, okay, we'll do it again, but we'll wait a little while so it's not super awkward. And it will probably change the tone of it a little bit. But it was a bummer. That hasn't happened forever. It's like when we did in San Diego, we did a whole live show outside and it didn't record. Didn't that happen once?
Yeah, Comic-Con. Yeah. I have a photo of the live show.
Yep, I know the photo.
Romo doing the live show that we never hit record on.
So, not to take it way, way back, but
And
I recall when we were all at Ithaca, there was the lost hour of the
13th hour, the missing 13th hour, ICTV
frequency.
So,
yeah.
So that's where it all started. Not hitting record.
Oh, I meant to ask. So, right now it's spring break for students in Los Angeles. So, Gordon and Ron, you were both tell the story of spring break on Ithaca College television.
Spring break. What do you mean?
Spring break.
So you guys were both the hosts of the show called Frequency. It was a music video show.
Oh, was Gordon the host? I was not the host. I was
the host with Casey.
Yeah, I was
Casey were the host.
Josh was the producer.
I did not have a specific role on the show. I just showed up and hung out.
I was a director. I didn't do any planning. I just called the camera shots and told people what to do.
Explain spring break and what you would do on the music video show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Spring break.
Oh, we take our shirts off.
You would run around calling spring break and take your shirts off.
Well,
it was not a good show.
The spring break joke started with Space Ghost.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast. There's an episode of Space Ghost.
Spring break and make that creaky noise.
He made some reference to on spring break in Daytona Beach, Florida, and he goes, "Spring break, woo!"
But then, I am sure that we started pulling our shirts off because.
Well, I remember Ron would run through the studio with Young Spring Break. Not necessarily.
It was also the late '90s, and when the Girls Gone Wild series was just getting popularity. There was a lot of activity on spring break. So yeah, fun fact: Gordon and I
never went on spring break.
We never went on spring break, but we almost got tattoos that said spring break.
It's still on my list. It's not out of the running yet.
It's a great tattoo design. It's just basically Space Ghost like this with a banner in front of him that says spring break, and
Josh's tattoo was from Ithaca.
Yeah, I looked over this morning.
Show your tattoo, Josh. Show it. Show everybody your tattoo.
It would be too hard to get to right now.
I
rolled. I'm not taking my shirt off. I rolled over this morning in bed and I kind of saw it and went, oh yeah.
So in college, so in case anyone doesn't know, for whatever reason, Ron and Josh and I all went to college together, and Gordon too.
Yeah, all of us.
Gordon was a year behind us. Somehow
we were all there.
Not according to some award that I won.
Fuck you, Gordon. So anyway, Josh went through a bad breakup. We all went through bad breakups. Let's all be honest. And went down to the local tattoo parlor that was in our downtown area, and got a Green Lantern tattoo, smack on his arm. And
exactly.
That's basically what happened.
No, because we'd broken up like months and months before that. Like,
no, you had broken up, but you hadn't broken up.
And then she was in a movie.
She had broken up with you.
The movie wasn't until later. It's true, but
Ron and I tried to get you to see the movie for so so long. We were like, no, you should go see this movie. It's really good. Anyway, talk about the tattoo.
No, but that had nothing to do with her. Other than it was just the we always used to go. That was the year that we all became friends and would hang out and talk about comics and do stuff together. And like, we had the shirts, and I always had my Green Lantern shirt, so I got my Green Lantern tattoo on my arm, and that really was more about that.
It seemed like it made sense, right?
Well, because you were a Judd Winnick fan, and you were enjoying the Kyle Renner stories.
Yeah, and it was just like, and also it was vague enough of a symbol at the time that I wouldn't really have to defend it all that much. Little did I know.
My Green Lantern story from LA is senior year in college when I was doing the LA program. I was working at Miramax, and there was a Miramax staff party at somebody's house, and I went to it. It was a Halloween party, and I didn't have anything to listen. He didn't work he worked in New York.
So there was a bathtub, and
anyway, it was a Halloween staff party for Miramax, and so we went to somebody's house to do it. And it was so I didn't have a costume, but I had a Green Lantern T-shirt, and I bought a domino mask, a green one, and I wore the T-shirt, black pants. I was done, and everyone kept looking at me. It was really strange, and I was like, should I not be at this party? Like, why is everybody looking at me weird? Apparently, some other dude. That was his lame costume, was to wear the domino mask with the Green Lantern T-shirt. I was
wow, and that lame dude was Harvey Weinstein,
and he was Harvey Weinstein.
And he had no pants. That was the difference.
Ron, you watched The Good Life, right?
I do know that I had kind of wanted to get a tattoo, and I lived with Gordon at the time, and Gordon was, and I don't like.
Yeah, you guys lived together. I forgot about that.
I don't like the idea.
Josh, you totally had a Green Lantern keychain. I don't remember.
It was a Green Lantern hanging on. It was a Kyle Rayner hanging off their keychain.
Yep, I remember that.
Right. I mean, I believe it. I don't.
You were a Kyle Rayner fanatic.
He was a member of the Heat Corps.
I was not.
That was me.
That was Connor.
Anyway, and I just remember
we have 9 minutes, by the way.
I wanted to get the tattoo, but like, I had a hard time signing myself up for something that I knew was going to hurt, and so I made Gordon do it. And like, he made the appointment, picked the person out, and this is how much I trusted him. And this is just
got a lot of
like,
tattoos.
Yeah, no, but not then. Like, there's a few then, but not really. Like, whatever. But so basically, he just gave me a time and a date, and I was like, cool. And I wouldn't talk about it. And like, there was no, like, I didn't want to discuss it.
Where were you guys living at the time? Not in the circle.
We were on Hudson Street, just on this street off campus. We were living. Like, it was after my graduation, and we were living.
The blonde girl living with you?
Well, that was the thing. So there was the girl in the bedroom next to me, with whom I had a brief tryst, and then also at one point,
I was responsible for that.
Right, but then at one point, not too long after, and mind you, she lived in the room next to mine. I went, I don't want to do this anymore, and I just left. That was pretty much it for the whole summer. But the thing that really got me was at the end of, so that day. I remember I was in the living room and I was watching James Bond on TBS. And I think my point was at like 2 or 3. And I was just trying to think about anything else. Because to me, it was like going to the dentist. I was like, it's just going to be uncomfortable and it's good. And afterwards, I'll be fine. And I remember that she walked in and sat down next to me. And she's like, and she wasn't being mean, but I was pissed off. She's like, so you're nervous? It's going to hurt, isn't it? Just kept talking to me. And I was like, leave me the fuck alone. Because I didn't want any discussion about it. And it's funny because when I went and got it, you know those people who are like, it doesn't really hurt that bad.
No,
like,
it hurt,
motherfucker.
You had it on your. It hurts
on
your arm.
It hurts like a blade being dragged through your skin. That's what it felt like.
It's so fascinating because out of all of us, I am. Well, you have no tattoos, but out of all of us, I am the worst. Like I watch Grey's Anatomy and I have to be told to look away, and I put my face in a pillow because I can't watch that stuff or whatever. And Gordon will attest it. Like, it was fine.
Well, Gordon is covered.
Ron is too.
Ron has. You have how many tattoos do you have?
Just the one.
Just the one. And Josh has the one. Mm-hmm. And Gordon has many.
But I was fully prepared to pass out at the needle, the pain, and all that sort of stuff. And remember, Gordon, it was like 5 minutes into it, I got a little whoa, and we paused, and then the hour and a half was fine.
Then you were fine.
Yeah, it was nothing. Yeah.
We think the tattoo place is still there.
You were more worked up about the process, not the actual.
Yeah. Once we started doing it, it was so much so that I'm like, why don't I have more? Because that was so easy.
Do we think that tattoo place is still there?
You know,
I mean, only if there was some way to look.
In Ithaca or the one?
And then we got the one where Josh got his Green Lantern tattoo.
Not the Franklin one, Gordon.
Not the Franklin one. The one where Josh got.
I don't think the one in Ithaca's still there.
You don't think so?
I don't think anything there is.
Ron has an X-Men tattoo.
Yours is like
It's
like
a fucking
4
tattoo.
times the size of mine. Like mine's like meh, and yours is like bah.
Well, I mean, show up.
I was hedging my bets. I'm not gonna lie about that. And
I had,
like,
I had a
thing.
very specific vision. In fact, I remember when we went, the Gordon's, the friend, the artist who did it, had it, and I was like, no, like double, like bigger. Like, really? I was like, yeah, no, bigger.
Here's the thing, though. There's a really fine line about comic book tattoos.
Yeah.
And what you did, that's about right. You know what I mean? Like the full character, that kind of weirds me out sometime because, or like, I was thinking, I remember specifically this thought yesterday. I go, someone out there has a Mandalorian tattoo. And like, it's
Gordon, you should stand up and take your whole shirt off.
Hey,
like,
Mando.
it's
Gordon,
a
take your
good
shirt off.
show, but maybe wait a couple, like.
Here's the question, Josh. If I had a Mandalorian logo tattoo from 10 years ago, cool or not cool?
Cool is a relative
It was
thing.
cool back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool back
yeah,
then.
more so. I don't know about cool, but like
Cool
you got
in
the
1997. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing.
yeah, but that would be like getting like a tattoo of the awesome image from the Star Wars Episode 1.
But how many people have the Green Lantern logo tattoo, Josh?
I'm guessing a lot. And what's funny is that I remember my most awkward moment with it ever was the first time I met Judd Winnick, and he was writing Green Lantern at the time, and I was like, "You better do a good job on it." And he was like, "Oh,
I don't care."
And
Why would you
I
do that?
Darwin
listen,
tattoo.
I was
Darwin,
not cool.
Well,
I don't think he remembers that.
Long-time
I could ask
listeners and viewers will know that we did the Darwin interview at the hotel with Palmiotti that he made Gordon take his shirt off, and he
That would happen in
autographed
Darwin's
Gordon-
hotel room.
He autographed Gordon's torso. Did you get the tattooed?
You did.
No, I had the tattoo there, and he autographed on the tattoo.
Did you get that
And then-
the shirt tattooed?
I didn't get the
No, that was the plan. But what happened was that Darwin put a gigantic signature on there. And so Gordon had this big like marker Darwin on there. And he was just like, I'm not doing that because it was too much. It was like a Burt Lancaster signature. And he was like,
Bart
Lancaster.
I suppose you're looking for this.
Some peck and paw esque.
Gordon, do you feel the need to get more
I've always
tattoos?
said this before, but if you've never watched
I have one.
when Comedians and Cars Getting Coffee episode, it's the best 7 minutes of my life.
Yeah. It's very
Gordon is so Gordon, you're the one who has the most tattoos. Is it true that tattoos are addictive?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are there any of the tattoos
I like
that you
that.
got a while ago when you were first getting them that you kind of wish you hadn't done at the time?
I've
You
covered
fixed-
two.
Yeah, you fixed a couple, right?
Yeah, I mean, I covered them. So
Yeah.
my first
The-
two.
The way that I always look at it is that like when you get something, you really have to make sure that it's going to be something you want. Like, so if I think like what my favorite T-shirt was, from 22 to 25, like, I thought this is the best T-shirt ever.
I probably still
And
have.
then
Yeah.
you probably would, but like 10 years later, I look back and like I wouldn't wear that now. And you have to compensate for that with tattoos. I feel like, and that's the part that
Well, here's the thing.
I'm listening.
I've made a shift too in what I get. A lot of the ones I get now are just, I think they're funny. And so then I'm like, well, if it's funny now, it's going to be
It'll be funny later on. Yeah.
funny.
Ooh, that's
20.
yeah. I thought that about, but then I saw Mallrats again.
Hey, Greg in the chat room. It was the Comedians and Cars episode with Alec Baldwin from the
The first one, first season.
first season.
season.
So.
So we have 2 minutes. We got a minute left. So let's take questions.
How is my laptop time 2 minutes off? Isn't it synced up with like a satellite? What the hell?
Mine
9:59.
says
you might
1
not have
minute.
it on automatic.
Mine says 1 minute.
Yeah.
In the preferences, you can see if it's on auto. It might
I
not
know.
be.
Yeah. Oh, it's set to the Marvel's server.
By the way,
Brad Garver said Mallrats was funny.
It
That's
was funny.
correct.
Also,
Mallrats was funny.
D Gold, who is a long time, I can't remember. This season of Curb was terrific.
That's what I've heard. I need to
I
watch.
don't know if you've even watched it, but this season of Curb was terrific.
It just
they're like in every other season. Like
Stuart asked, "Are we stressed out about what's talking about the show?" We're never stressed out because we know that we can fill an hour, no problem. In fact, every show since the quarantine has been over an hour, like by a lot. You can't. I mean, filling an hour is not a problem. Favorite sitcom in the last 5 years, Blackish. I haven't watched Kim Smith movie in years.
I could probably watch Clerks, and I think that there's a lot of really stupid, funny things in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back that still make me laugh.
Oh, I mean, Mallrats, Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back are funny.
I don't know if I could watch. I think I tried to watch Mallrats once recently, and
Jabba's right. We filled an hour with nothing. That's what Josh and I have done. That's what we do.
Seinfeld at its best.
It's 7 o'clock in LA.
I can't think of it.
10 o'clock in New York.
Adios, my friends.
Hangout's done. I really have to pee.
AJ, *Halt and Catch Fire* is one of the best TV shows of the last 10 years. Great TV show.
All three of us agree with that.
Yep, great show.
Easily.
So, all right, so we will be back.
I love getting a question in the last minute. How do you feel about Diamond?
Yeah. So we'll be back in a month, but also there's a possibility we may do a couple of like
surprise
hangouts. We've had some discussions about pop-up hangouts that are not involved with the monthly hangout. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So we're gonna hang out. Goodbye in 3, 2, 1. Thank you for hanging out. Wash your hands.
Hi everyone.
Wash your hands.